What? And just like that. Can you guys hear me?
Wow.
Can you hear me?
I hear you
I can hear you,
perfectly.
baby.
Oh, baby. Look at that. We're live on YouTube.
Oh my God, we're live on YouTube.
I can't believe it.
How's my lighting, Aldo?
You look great, man, as per usual.
Wow, your lighting's so good, Yilma.
Thank you.
Oh my God,
While I
Yilma.
sip my 40 Creek.
Whoa, are you kidding me right now?
Oh yeah, baby. What
Okay,
am I
hold
drinking
on
again?
here,
That's
hold
called
on
a
here.
buck. All right, sorry.
I got to kick this off with an intro because otherwise we're just going to be spitballing all night. So let me just start off with a good hello. And welcome to another episode of SoFly. This is the SoFly holiday party. Oh my God. Merry Fishmas to all. My name is Mitch. We've got Yilma.
Hello, everybody.
We've got Aldo.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
And we're really excited today to be recording live tonight on YouTube, if you can believe it, for the first time in SoFly history. Yilma, what do you have to think? What do you have to say about that?
I think it's a milestone.
It's absolutely
to say the
fantastic,
least.
isn't it? Oh my God, I can't even believe it. We're super excited to be broadcasting live tonight for our one fan who's tuned in. Hey, Mom. Every year, we like to do a year-end show where we talk about the previous year fishing, previous season, and then we talk about, what we're looking forward to in the next season. So I guess this year we're going to be talking about 2021 because guess where we're heading? 2022, baby. And we're also going to just talk a little bit about, some of the things we can improve in next year in terms of our fly fishing life. And also we're going to have some people calling in, if you can believe that.
That's pretty exciting.
I can
Pretty
dig
really
it.
exciting.
I'm going to change this to gallery view. I'm already recording on the thing. So if you're listening to this on New Year's Day, because that's when this podcast is coming out, you missed the live show, but that's okay because we're going to put this one out as a podcast as well. What do you guys think about that? Check out my mug.
Nice, man. Oh, is that a Santa mug?
It is a Santa mug. This is from Aldo. Thank you very much.
Oh, no problem. Hey, Mitchie, what are you drinking? Is it something holiday inspired, perhaps?
Well, so here's what I did, and you got to keep up with me here because it's a little bit complicated. I wanted to go all out for this one because
Okay.
we don't do live shows very often. Actually,
mhm.
we've never done a live show. So when I say very often, it's literally never. This is the first one. So I wanted to do something special. So what I did was I made a pot of coffee. Okay. 7 cups of water, 3 scoops of medium roast coffee. And then I brewed that, put it into my Santa mug. See?
Okay.
And then I added 40 Creek whiskey.
Nice. The double barrel.
And that's it. That's what I did. And I'm just drinking that.
Coffee and whiskey.
Yeah.
Up and up. You're up. You're down. You're up. You're down.
I know it's live, but did you get him a Christmas present and I didn't get one? I didn't know we were doing.
I've got your Christmas present. I just I haven't dropped it off because COVID and all.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's cool. But we're shooting together this week, so I'll drop it off then.
Great.
I'm going with Nog.
Oh, do you have
My
a 40
last
Creek
little
Nog?
drops of Nog. Yeah. So I'm gonna do
baby.
40 Creek Barrel Select. Ha!
That's delicious. My God.
And
That's the
some
nog you brought over to my house from Circle K. And you know what? It wasn't bad. It
No
wasn't
Circle
bad
K
nog.
Nog. Shout out to Circle K.
It was one of those nogs where you're kind of like, is this something we should be drinking right now in the backyard? And then we did. And it was good. It was good.
That's awesome. Look, I got my fly fishing mug.
Whoa, cool mug. Where'd you get that
Oh,
It was a
love
gift. It was a gift.
I love that.
And I noticed one of our former guests actually has the same mug.
Who's
from?
this?
Oh, no way. Which guest?
Yeah, which guess?
From 2020?
He's got his mouth full.
No, from 2019, Caleb.
Oh, man, you guys all have your, you guys all have your SoFly sweaters on. I don't. I got a truck shop hoodie on.
Yeah, but you got your Mudhead hoodie.
I do.
Hat.
I'm that hat. I'm feeling
it's all
toasty.
good.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching live, we appreciate it because, like we said, we've never done this before. It's the holidays. A lot of people don't have really much stuff going on, so we figured let's do our end of the year show as a kind of a holiday party. Let's have a couple 40 Creeks. Let's chat about fishing. This is the other mug that Aldo got me, by the way, and
I got it in the head and the pants.
and the pants. See if you can see. I'm gonna make a rum in that later, but anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. And if you're not watching live show and you're listening from home, thank you for listening. It's been a hell of a year. So we're gonna cap it off with this year-end show. And today we got some factor fishies from Yilma. So Yilma's gonna give us a few factor fishies. We got a couple people calling in, and they're gonna talk to us about their fishing season, what they're looking forward to in 2020. And we're just gonna chat about the year, chat about what we're looking forward to. just kind of, have a nice little blowout. See you later, 2020. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
100%. 100%.
100%.
Uh-oh, people can see how weird we are now.
I know. Oh my God. Usually we edit the stuff out, but not today. Why don't we just start by adding in a caller right off the bat and just chat with someone right away? Because
Love
then
it.
we can, just jump into some of the 2020 fishing stories and just kind of get right into it. How's that sound?
Sounds
Sounds
great.
great.
And also, if anybody's anybody who is watching and wants to join us, just email info@sofly.ca and we'll get you into the call. We'll get you into the waiting room.
100%. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add in Patrick, first of all. And also, by the way, everybody, we have no idea what we're doing. We've never done this before. Patrick, if you can hear us, mute your YouTube because we're going to go into some crazy feedback loop in which we'll have no way out.
Mute your YouTube, but unmute your microphone in Zoom.
Yeah, I'm muted.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There you go. Hey, it sounds
Patrick.
great.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. How are you guys?
Good, man. Thanks for coming on. I mean, geez. I
Got a
heard
very
okay, so-
festive. Got a very festive background there, man.
Yeah, I got the Christmas tree going on.
Right on.
There's a couple of things under there. I'm
Right
not sure. Maybe you can see the yogurt container with the pheasant tail.
Oh, right
yes.
on. Your
Oh,
time.
right
You got
on.
your tying bench.
That's a nice
back
little
there.
tying bench there. That's good.
Yeah.
So I was out on the river yesterday with Adis, our photographer, and we bumped into Patrick actually.
Yeah, it was
on the
great.
Credit River. He had just landed his first steelhead on the swing. So we got to talk about that.
Yeah,
Patrick,
that
my
was
God.
great.
I saw a picture of it. It looked beautiful. The colors were
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a rather colored up buck, but it was a fantastic experience. I actually picked up the double-handed rod approximately like 3 weeks ago. So I've just been getting a couple trips in, but I was fortunate to have a trip with Mr. Matt Martin. I'm sure that you guys have heard of him as well.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm gonna try and monitor off because there's like a little bit of a lag between the YouTube.
Oh,
screen
yeah,
and the
yeah.
Zoom.
It's kind of
So it's
Yeah.
a little distracting to see me doing things twice. But yeah, I had the pleasure to go out for a guided trip with Mr. Matt Martin, and he showed me he showed me around the double-handed rod, so I was able to implement some of his techniques.
Oh,
And
man.
yeah, it was a huge surprise actually. I was nymphing for the entire day because it was I'm sure you guys know, Aldo knows for sure, it was pretty damn cold yesterday and the water was cold too.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I wasn't anticipating any fish being active, but then I just decided to give the two-handed rod
Yeah.
a throw, and lo and behold, in a run, that buck connected, and it
Oh,
was
man.
a great surprise. Yeah.
Okay, so wait, couple things. First of all, what kind of double-handed rod you pick up? What are you fishing?
So I picked up what I could afford. So
Fair.
grade 12, I teach skating, make minimum wage, lost
Yep.
my job, not a lot of money right now, but Drift did have that Reddington Cromer spay or switch rod on
Yeah.
clearance, right?
Oh,
So
nice.
by the time I caught wind of that deal, they only had the 6 weight left.
Okay.
So it's a little underpowered for a large river like the Credit, or if you want to go even bigger, Maitland or Saugeen, but I work with what I have, right?
Yeah, man.
Right.
That's okay. That's a good rod. That's a great rod.
Yeah, it's a really good
Yeah.
rod. I was thinking of picking up that rod.
Switch
Yeah.
rod's great for the Credit, especially where we were. Like it's a little bit tighter in there, so you can like
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
great.
were you fishing your single-handed rod first, and then you're like, I'm going to switch over to the double and see what happens?
Yeah. I was fishing the single-handed rod. I was just tight line nymphing for the Steelhead.
Right.
But then
Oh, man.
there's actually I reached this like kind of like walking pace extended pocket, right? And I actually saw a fish rise, like it splashed at the surface. So I was like, I was initially gonna walk by it, but then I decided I'll put a couple drifts through, right? And then my tight line rig went to like crap, like everything got tangled up. So then that went out of commission, and I decided let's cover some water. We'll bring out the two-handed for the first time. So that was good. That was good.
Man, that's wicked that you were
Yeah.
nymphing,
Nymphing
and
and then swung and caught a fish.
and then that's when you get it. That's
what Mitch.
badass,
That's
man.
what Mitch wants to hear. Big time.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's like punk rock. You know. What kind of fly were you using? What'd you get them on?
I was using olive hobo spay. I think I have it right here.
Oh, baby.
Grab it.
Those
Love a
hobo
hobo spay.
spays, man. This is the year of the hobo.
Oh
Nothing
man.
special, yeah, but
That's
it
a
was-
Matt
it
Martin
was
fly if
good.
I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it's with a little bit of a orange hotspot dubbing at the end, but
That's a
it's a
great
great
fly.
fly. I could only afford the
I was
materials. For a
actually
hobo.
reading something.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry. I think I had a bit of a delay. I was saying I was reading something about how steelhead see different colors depending on
Mhm.
how long they've been in the river. So
Mhm.
when they're fresh, black and blues, is awesome because they've been hunting or feeding at a certain depth of water in the lake. So the
Mhm.
rods and cones can see a certain color. But then as they adapt to the river, that's when olives and drab colors become a little.
Ah.
It was a cool article. I had never thought of that before as to why but it's cool that a colored buck hit. And how
Colors
close
on
did
that,
we
yeah.
did we miss you from landing that?
I think you missed me by approximately like literally 20 minutes. So I was
That would have been
fishing, I was
awesome to
fishing
see
a little
that.
below where you saw me. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was
So
great. Yeah.
what was the take like? Because was that your first? That was your first steelhead on the swing. You've caught steelhead before.
Yeah, on the nymphing and center pinning. Oh, center pinning. Yeah,
Did
definitely
it feel
the first
different?
steelhead on the swing. For sure. Yeah. So what happened was actually I was reaching for my glove in my pocket. I was trying to get it out. My hip pack was kind of like cramping down my pocket, so I was like wedging my hand in there, and I just kind of let it dangle. So a lot of people romanticize swing hits as being like wham, oh my god, it ripped the rod out of my hand, right?
Yeah.
But then this one, it just kind of, because it was on the dangle and the water speed wasn't that fast, it just kind of pulled tension. So I thought I bottomed out, right? So I started yanking on it. And then all of a sudden, it started giving me head shakes, and I was like, "Oh, holy crap, Dad!"
That head shake. That head shake is the killer. Yeah.
The dangle, man. All my steelhead this year have been on the dangle. I say all, it's like 4 fish, but like they all hit on the dangle, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
The dangle. It's great.
The
You
dangle
can't,
works, man.
gotta fish it through.
Gotta
Yeah.
fish it through.
That's how your steelhead hit on the credit last year, right, Aldo? It hit kind of.
Like my first fish on the swing, the same thing. I thought it bottomed out, and I think I was actually like had one hand on the phone, and I was like thought I had bottomed out, and I just was kind of like you do that little slight tug to pop you up, and then all of a sudden, boom, a couple of head shakes, and I'm like screaming like Yilma, help me! And then Chris from Drift actually landed the fish for me, or tailed it, I should say, and it was awesome.
I took the pics.
That's crazy.
That's awesome. That's a great story.
Hey, man.
Thank you. It was a
fantastic
fantastic experience. Yeah.
And then
How was the rest of your 2020 fishing season? Like, was it normal for you? Like, did you get out as much as you usually do? What's the deal?
Well, let's put it this way. So this year was actually my first year of like intense fly fishing, actually. So,
Welcome.
But thank you. It's a fantastic community, and I'm proud to be a part of it now. But so I don't think I have a reference point to call it normal, but
Sure.
I would say I would describe it as fantastic, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a good word.
It was. We'll start off chronologically. So spring steelhead, I was still using conventional gear, bottom bouncing the Niagara, spent a lot of time there. Center pinned the eastern tribs east of Toronto.
Yep.
So that was pretty basic stuff. But as trout season came along, I wanted to move away from fishing dropback steelhead, and I spent a lot more time fishing for resident trout, bumming it out with indicator rigs and trying to chuck big streamers for them. But I never really experienced much success until I just kept going away with this. I kept going away with this through late April through May. And then on one of my runs, actually, I was running and I was listening to your guys' podcast, actually. And it was your podcast with Ian Troop.
Yeah.
So he's a fantastic competitive angler, fantastic individual.
Yeah.
And
he's rad.
his generosity with his knowledge is like something I've never encountered in my life before.
Yeah. It's pretty special.
So thank you guys for that. You opened the gateway towards competitive angling, and I think that's what really drove me to further my skills in fly fishing. So you introduced Ian to me, and after listening to that podcast, I contacted Ian. I was like, I wanted to get into competitive fly fishing.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice? And to my surprise, he's actually like, sure, let's meet. I'll sell you a Euro nymphing rod at a price that you could afford, which was not that high at that time.
Yeah.
And he showed me he showed me his ways with his tight line nymphing technique, Euro nymphing technique, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And away that went. And he got me started off. So that was around mid-June. And he got me started off onto a really fantastic trout season throughout the summer. So I bounced around the Grand, the credit. Sorry, I'm really long-winded. You guys let me know.
No,
if you
it's
want.
great.
Oh,
No.
keep going. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Ian's an awesome guy, and there's some amazing competitive anglers down in Southern Ontario. You know,
Yeah.
like it's a cool thing to get into.
It was great. So I'm in my final year of eligibility for the youth team actually. So I'm hoping that this year they open borders up, hopefully with the vaccine,
Right
and they plan the youth tournament. Last I heard, I think the men's tournament is still being, or the adult tournament is still being planned in Finland, but the youth tournament in Bosnia, I'm hoping they plan it. Otherwise,
Cool.
the next year I'm gonna have to be
cool.
competing against the big
Bosnia.
guns, Todd Oishi, keeper, Ian, Chris, all those guys, right? So I'm hoping
You'll be fine.
It'll be fun.
I'm hoping I can make the most out of this last year of eligibility, right?
Yeah,
Definitely. Colin, that's how Colin Huff started, with another former guest and Team Canada member. He was on the youth team. I remember working at Drift. I remember working at the Green Drake in Ottawa, and we outfitted them with the youth team with waiters because they were all from a lot of them from Ottawa at the time. And I just remember thinking like this 10, 11, 12-year-old, because I was 18 at the time, and like, or they're, and they were a little bit younger than me, and they're getting to travel the world to fly fish, and they're from Ottawa, and I'm like, that's pretty sick.
It's fantastic. And then you realize how like global the community is, right? Like Spanish dry fly techniques. You're tying with like check flies and using leader material from France. And it's like, it's really crazy. It
opens your mind.
And they catch an insane amount of fish in those tournaments. It's like they tell us stories. It's like, okay, it's crazy.
They catch a crazy amount of fish. It's oh man, but so it's kind of intimidating.
What do you? So you're trying to get onto that, and I think that's amazing. I think you're, I mean, with a steelhead like that, how can they say no? I think that your first year in fly fishing sounds like it was amazing. What are you looking forward to in 2021? Like, you're obviously going to keep focusing on trying to get into competitive world, but is there something specific, like a place you want to go, or like a fish you want to try to catch on the fly rod?
Okay, so I think I'm going to try going along with that competitive aspect. I think I'm going to try to get into still water fly fishing because most competitions, they have venues on running water, rivers, as well as still water. But the thing is that things are so damn expensive, man. And these lines, like you need to pick up an intermediate, type 3, type 5, just something to get you started off, right? But I'm really excited to go into that and then hopefully compete. But another thing I'm excited about, and something that's incredibly important to me, is using my passions to help other people. And after some failed attempts with some other hobbies, we'll put it that way, I've settled that fly fishing is definitely something that I love, and it's something that I want to help other people with, albeit with the very little knowledge that I have right now. So I'm currently working with Heroes Mending on the Fly to assemble Heroes Mending on the Fly. If you guys don't know, is an organization, the Canadian organization that connects veterans of the Canadian Armed Forces, first responders, and RCMP, the veterans who have PTSD with fly fishing mentors, and we set up fly fishing programs for them. So I joined approximately 2 months ago, and we're really just trying to garner interest in the GTA area. So cool. If any of you guys want to help out with that, just contact I think Gervais is the national director, and Tony Ricard is the provincial director of Ontario. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to in 2021.
Amazing, that's amazing. That's great. Yeah, it's like Project Healing Waters, but up in Canada.
Yeah, I was actually I saw what Project Healing Waters was doing, and I was like, maybe I could start something like that in Canada, right? Because you can really see the connections between the therapeutic effects of fly fishing and how it can alleviate symptoms of PTSD, right? Yeah. So, but then I found Heroes Mending on the Fly, and I was like, wow, you guys got things going already. Let's build off of that, right?
Awesome, man.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Well, Patrick, send us details. We'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Please do.
Patrick, man, 2021 sounds busy for you. Lots of fly fishing stuff going on.
Indeed, yeah. I'm great, super excited.
Yeah, man.
Well, hey, man, if you're ever hitting the river, just you've got our contact now, so just let us know and
fish. We'll fish.
We'll swing. We've only got one river to fish from January till the end of April, anyway. So
we'll see you there.
So we'll see you there.
Heck
Definitely,
yeah, man.
definitely. That sounds
Perfect.
great.
Thanks,
Thank you
Patrick.
so
All right,
much for
take care,
having me.
Patrick. Thanks for
Nice
coming
to meet
on,
you,
man.
Patrick. Take it
Actually,
easy.
wait.
Stay safe. Have a good night, guys.
Wait,
Bye-bye.
wait,
Oh, wait,
wait,
Aldo,
wait,
wait.
Sorry.
wait. Patrick,
What,
what's your
Aldo?
Instagram so people can see your fish?
Oh, my Instagram. Oh, it's just fishing adventures with Patrick. No spaces, no underscores, no periods, nothing. Just fishing adventures with Patrick.
Everybody go look at that fish. It's beautiful. Patrick, thanks so
Thank you.
much.
Thanks,
All right,
Patrick.
have a good night, guys.
Have a good
All
one.
right, see you, man.
See you later.
Bye bye.
Oh, that was cool.
What a cool guy.
Yeah.
That fish he caught was amazing. I was like, dang. And I saw you guys were fishing. You got skunked. And then I was like, whoa, Patrick's fish is like, the colors were ridiculous on that fish.
I think there was like 900 people on the river, and Patrick was the only guy who actually caught something.
That's
To
bad.
be perfectly honest, like
On the
yeah,
swing, too.
there was a lot of center pin guys, and there was a lot of fly guys, and didn't look like anybody was. We bumped into our friend Winston,
Oh, nice.
and you know he's very. He said he lost a fish later on in the day, but I think Patrick might have been the only guy who actually bagged a fish yesterday. Which is
Well,
awesome.
there you go.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. Jordan, welcome to the show. You guys should do this like semi-annual. Yeah, maybe we will. I don't know. It's going pretty good so far, but there's still lots of time to screw up. Matt, that fish was sick. Welcome, Matt. Yilma, should we do fact or fishy right now?
Yeah, I guess.
You
we should do it.
wrote a few, right? How many did you write?
You said to do 4.
Yeah, 4. Because I figured we'd
Okay.
do 2 right now, and then we'll do 2 later on after we talk to some more people and all
Yeah,
that
Jesus
kind of stuff.
Christ, you're freaking me out, Mitch.
Also, everybody listening too. I wrote Mitchie's New Year's 5 for the end of this that I think are going to be kind of interesting. They're super wacky. So, if you got any reason to stick around and watch us talk in our homes on live, that maybe is one of them. And if you're listening at home, you can still hear it. So just keep listening. All right, I'm gonna take us in, baby. Fact or fishy? Let's do this thing. Also,
Oh,
before you go, I'm gonna make a rum and Coke.
A rum and Coke. Whoa.
I've just
Aldo,
been-
what am I drinking, Aldo?
I'm gonna open a left field beer. One of the things I missed the most this year was getting to do our tying nights at the left
Me
field
too,
brewery.
man. Did you
Oh,
see that
yeah.
left field gingerbread house they made?
It was amazing.
So
thought-
good.
It was so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I'm drinking their Blackburn Imperial Stout, which is a Mexican chocolate stout. How cool is that?
That's super
I
cool,
love
man.
stout. Good stout's good.
I love
man,
left
it's-
field. Left field's delicious. Their
It's
beer's
time-
so
it's
good.
time for the winter.
I'm having a buck.
What's that?
Yeah, a buck 40 is what Aldo calls it. It's a 40
Oh.
Creek and ginger beer and lime.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a Bucks are basically a dark and stormy, except for with whiskey.
That's
Or
cool.
gin too.
I
I
like
won't get
that.
too much into cocktails.
Yilma, baby,
it
take
quick.
us away. Fact or fishy? Let's go. I want to blow my mind. I want to
Okay.
be so
I don't know which one I want to
confused.
start with first.
Up to you. You got titles?
I got titles.
Holy crap.
Okay. Okay, so I'm calling this one Shallow Hal. Oh, yeah.
Great movie. Any
It's
movie.
a
Jack
great
Black.
movie. I
I
love
love
Jack
Jack
Black.
Black. Okay.
Okay, so a gentleman by the name of Hal was fly fishing on the San Lorenzo River in California and hooked into a corpse.
Jesus.
It turns out to be his most memorable catch to date, and a mystery that may
Sounds like it.
Imagine if it wasn't.
still have questions that need answering. Fact or fishy?
I think, where was he? Don River?
San Lorenzo
Humber?
River,
Where's that?
California.
But where in California?
Where in California?
I don't know.
Oh, so
I
So
think
this
that
is-
part's.
No. How do you know?
This is-
That's not
okay.
a good point. That's not. You
well, I'm just
can't-
saying if you said it was like in downtown LA, then I'd be like, oh, well, then that's true for sure. But if
Oh,
you
I
said
see
it was
what
like
you're saying.
Northern California in a mountain, I'm like,
You know what, though? Fishy. Fact.
I'm
this
saying
is
fact too. I'm going
Yeah,
fact.
this is for sure fact. This is wait, I'll tell you why. Because I don't know, just the way it was written. I was like, I don't think Yilma crafted this earlier today.
Oh
Yilma
my
doesn't know where San
God.
Lorenzo
I,
is.
I took a lot of time with this. This is the first live show. I really.
we've
I,
got
I think
Tom-
instead of corpse, you would have said dead body. You know
Okay,
what I
we've
mean?
got
It's
some
the little
people-
details like that, you know?
We got some people responding here. Tom says fishy. Jordan says
I'm
fact.
saying fishy, eh? I don't know,
Jor-
man. This
Jordan's
seems-
saying fact because he said he wouldn't put it past California, which is what I'm saying.
yeah,
No knock on California.
I'm kind of with
But
that. too.
LA's not the safest place. It's also a beautiful place. I go there all the time when I can.
Beautiful.
Fucking LA. But you know,
Okay, did I say fact? I said fact, right?
I
It's
said fact. Me,
Yeah.
you, and Jordan say fact. Tom says fishy.
Fishy.
Um,
It says y'all getting buck wild. He's downstairs. I wonder if you can hear me. I don't know. Yilma, what is it?
It's fact, guys.
Oh, Jordan.
What's the thing?
Who's Cruisy Lines? Whoever Cruisy Lines is also said fact. Matt also says fact.
Fact, man. So what's the details behind this one?
So-
Because this guy hooked into a dead body while he was fishing?
Yeah. So apparently, okay. So there's a book called. Let me
This
just
is
pull it up,
ridiculous.
guys. Yes.
This is honestly ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I'm probably just gonna end this live stream right now. I'm so shook.
You're so shook. Well, yeah. Okay. So his name's Hal Jansen. And I think he's like
Okay.
written books and stuff. But anyways, there's an actual book.
Did you write a book about this?
Well, there's a book called I don't know, I'll get the actual name. It's on my phone. Actually, I took some stories off of it.
Our buddy Winston just texted me. He's like, "That's fact."
Yeah, because it's I think it's a popular story. Anyway, so it's a book called "Incredible and True Fishing Stories," and this is one of them. Yeah, and I didn't really get into the details of the story because I actually just got the sample because I didn't want to spend money on it. So it just gave me like a little blurb.
Classic.
Yeah. But then I looked it up, and the guy does exist, and he's written a couple of books. I'm not sure if he's still alive.
Wow, that's a wild. What would you do if you hooked a corpse, Yilma? What would you do?
I would run.
I mean, you don't want to lose your fly, though, you know. But you just keep pulling till something comes off.
I'd run.
You just run. You just run. Screaming.
Irrational. Yeah.
Our good pal and former guest Nick has notified us that Hal Jansen is a Stillwater expert from Northern California.
Boom.
So there you go.
There you go. Well, we're gonna have Nick on the show soon. We're gonna talk to Nick. But Yilma, I think you have one more Factor Fishy for this little chunk of the show. So why don't you slam that down right now? Do you not have one?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I do have one.
Oh, I have tons. Yeah,
He's just trying to figure out
which one.
us, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Oh, I see. Okay.
This is part of my prep.
I don't want to press you, but you know, we're live. You know.
Okay, so I'm calling. I'm calling this one "Ride 'Em Cowboy."
Whoa, that's an exciting title. Okay.
Thank you.
Ride 'Em Cowboy.
Ride 'Em Cowboy.
Also, Tom just had a sick joke. He said, "One hell of a dead drift."
Oh, Tom! Comment of the year. There you
Comment
go.
of the year. Nice one, Tom.
Thanks,
Nice.
Tom.
That's sick. All right, Yilma. Ride 'em cowboy.
Ride 'Em Cowboy. So on the northern coast of New Zealand, a fisherman by the name of Watson decided to push his extreme fishing.
Fishy. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. By the name of Watson decided to push his extreme fishing excursions by riding on the back of a 250-pound marlin. It took him a while to find the right moment, but when he did, he jumped into the water with his cameraman by his side and landed on this marlin and rode him all the way down until he couldn't ride him anymore.
Into the ocean?
Yeah.
It's fishy. It's so fishy. But you're probably gonna be like, no, man, that's fact.
No,
And the detail was like, well, you know what I mean?
Yo,
I think this might actually be fact. I think I've heard of this story before.
A guy jumped onto a marlin and rode it down to the depths of the ocean
Until he couldn't hang on anymore, man.
and lived to tell the tale.
I mean,
I like the title. I'll tell you that much. Ride 'Em Cowboy.
Ride 'Em
Makes a
Cowboy.
whole lot of
Title.
sense.
thanks, dude.
Ride 'em cowboy.
I want it
Okay,
to be.
well-
Let's put it this way. I want it to be fact. So I'm just gonna say
Everybody's saying fishy, man. Matt's saying fishy. George's saying fishy. It's fishy, dude. There's
Jordan's
no way.
fine.
This is the kind of thing Yilma would write and be like,
No, it's not a love story, so why would I write it?
that's true. They are always love stories.
Don't try to throw us off the trail here.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I don't know. Ben said
Did everybody
fishy
see this
too.
picture?
Oh my God, he did it. See, I knew it.
What is the story behind the guy jumping onto a marlin? Why did he do it? And B,
Wait,
how did
is
he-
it? That looks photoshopped like crazy. First of all. Second of all, if it isn't, that guy just tortured a marlin.
I mean, it's a long story here, but it's in the same book. So yeah, this is where I got it from.
Jeez.
So yeah, it's true. There's more to it, like he and his buddies were, talking about,
riding a marlin?
no, riding. I forget if I could
Wouldn't it
find
be so crazy if we went out and got a marlin and rode it down to the middle of the ocean?
They were just like extremists, but he's also, he's a big
That's insane,
proponent
man.
of catch and release. This guy, by the way, really.
Oh yeah, he really sounds like a conservationist. Freaking lassoing.
They put that at the end of the short story to make sure that everybody knows. He's a lover of all
no,
animals.
No fish were harmed in the making of this marlin ride.
Listen, I'm
Dang,
riding
man.
marlins.
Everybody said Fishy, man. Everybody, Ben, Chris, everybody's saying Fishy, but that's
Oh,
crazy.
Matt?
That was fact. I can't
That was
believe it.
crazy.
No one can believe it. We're shocked. But I think we have another caller on the show. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's get our second caller on here.
Okay, I'm thinking we do.
Oh, Matt just had a sick joke. He said, "Good way to keep him wet."
What, Matt?
Oh,
That's another
that's
comment of
too
the year.
good.
That's good. This is ridiculous, man. We don't have that many trophies. We're gonna run out. We're gonna have Nick on the show. Our buddy Nick here. He just fished on the Big Head Riff, on the Big Head With, and I've added him in. Let's see if he answers. If he doesn't answer, oh, he's connecting to audio. Let's see if he connects to video. Okay, I'm thinking we do.
Matt just had a sick joke. He said, "Good way to keep him wet."
Oh, you can hear you in the thing. Okay, mute us, Nick. Mute us.
Mute the YouTube.
We're gonna run out. We're gonna have Nick on the show. Nick, we can hear the YouTube. You've got to mute the YouTube link. He's just catching up here. Idis said still not buying it. I believe Idis. Still doesn't believe Yilma. I think it's still Fishy, and I think Yilma photoshopped that because he is a Photoshop whiz. Nick, how's it going?
Going good, man. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show. Thanks for calling in.
Good. It sounded pretty weird there because I had the YouTube on in the background.
I know. Yeah. We could hear ourselves talking 5 seconds before, and it was really freaking me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started
That's time
sounding
travel.
We're good now. A few minutes. So
How are you?
good. Good. A little tired. It's up early today. Went fishing. So
Yeah, were you on the Big Head today?
We're on the Big Head.
yeah, I was.
Nice. And how'd you do?
I got the hall pass for a half day. So I took advantage.
Nice.
Nice.
Probably the last day out this year. So
Mhm.
pretty lucky to do that.
Yeah, it's a snowy, cold time now. But did you get any fish?
Yeah, it was like not great. I got a couple, but really can't
Nice.
complain. I just wanted one, got two. So
Oh, great.
That's
That's
awesome.
fantastic, man.
it was
It's not a bad day at all.
Not a bad day.
You're,
No, I was.
you're
uh,
nymphing there, Nick?
Usually at this time of year, it's all locked up, and I mean, usually you can't really get out there, but the last couple of years you have. So it's kind of bonus when you get out at end of December to go fishing in a river.
Totally.
Big time.
It's almost the end of the year too. The rivers are going to close, and then we're all stuck at home. Or maybe if you ice fish, you can do that, or fish the credit. But
I
you
don't
know, it's
man.
good
The
to.
future's uncertain, right? Like it's kind of hard to plan anything at this point.
I know it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's lockdown. I mean, we were, I was looking forward to trying to rent a shack or something on Nipissing. I don't know if we could do that though.
I don't know. That might be kind of hard, at least for the next 28 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you know what? We said that back in March. That
Mhm.
didn't really look like you could plan very much. And I don't know about you guys, but I think it was a pretty good year fishing wise anyway. If
Yeah.
the world was not really in great shape, fishing still happened and
Yeah.
it's had a pretty good season. So
Well, that's a good segue into chatting about your season, because we talked on you. We had you and Matt on the show earlier to talk about your fishing trip to the Nipigon, and Yilma's dying, but that's okay. Trying to help. And then we fished together on the Big Head, so we've crossed paths a little bit this year. But how's your fishing season been overall? You've been getting lots of brown trout, because I know you love your brown trout.
oh yeah, I mean, like that's typically what I want to be doing. Yeah, I think I got it quite a bit. Definitely in after the Nipigon trip, it became like kind of full on brown trout time. And that was like mid to late June, which for Southern Ontario definitely means it's time to pursue our resident trout. Carried on into early July or so, but I don't know really where all the time went, to be honest. I had a move not that long ago too, so my steelhead season didn't really start up until really this month. So I didn't get out much up until the very end of November and then into December. But I don't know. I kind of begged my wife and told her that it was only another month or so of the season and please let me out. I got the pass, and yeah, I can't really complain. I got to meet up with you guys, which is great.
It was a
That was a fun day.
Yeah, it
Met
was
up with a
fun
lot
day.
of people in Southern Ontario, which I think is pretty cool because at one
Yep.
point in time, I don't know, I thought there wasn't really that many fly fishermen in my demographic, but
I
that
know.
really does seem to be changing. And if not even, like, I don't know, I'm 34 now, but like I met a
Same.
young kid out on the river
Yeah.
today. Matt uses this killer fly tire on Instagram. Like 16, I think he is, and a couple other kids, 14 years old the other week. And like, man,
Yeah.
these kids are like into it. It's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
I know
Big
it's pretty wild. I'm always shocked. I was thinking about this today. I'm always shocked that there's people like us that connect, and it's like, oh yeah, because you don't see, we don't see each other on the rivers all the time. But I don't know, like I'm always just like, wow, I can't believe there's people I mean, even with the podcasts like that, want to do a podcast about fly fishing that are like, my age. It's crazy.
Look at your comment box over there, man. It's like there's lots of people.
Yeah. In fact, Jordan said,
it is, though, it's just like on the river, like, I don't know. I'm a pretty friendly guy on the river, so anybody who wants to come talk to me, by all means, come talk to me. I'm usually up for a chat.
Totally.
But a lot of times, like, people don't. I don't know. It's hard to connect on the river. It's a quick, hey, how's it going? You catch any? It's a good day. See ya.
yeah, exactly.
Totally.
And there's this whole other group of people that are into the same thing you are, but yet, I don't know, let's try a cocktail party or something. You're never going to find out that they're into the same thing that you are.
Yeah, it's true. No, totally. Also, Jordan just said that Niagara's open, so you corrected us. That's true, Jordan. Thank you very much.
You got Niagara, Naughty. You can fish sections of the Naughty all year.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
It's open.
There's water. There's places to go.
Yeah, it's just, do you want to go out there when it's -20? It's gotta be pretty hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty hardcore. I mean, maybe if you can get your snow pants on under your waders, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. You need a couple pairs of waders to upsize.
Totally.
Not a bad idea, actually.
Nick, what was one of your just highlights from 2020? Like, if you could go back in your memory and think about a moment from last season that was just like, ooh, that was the moment. Like, that's what I want one of those next year too. What was that moment?
Oh my God. Okay. It's always for me, the fish that gets away. That's always the one. I don't know. The ones I catch, I tend to forget, unfortunately, or I look back on pictures and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that fish, but it's always the one that got away. And I think Matt's online here, but I was fishing our favorite local resident brown trout river. And there was a spot that I knew that there was a fish and I'd hooked him before and I lost him. And then this time I gave Matt a shot at, and Matt hooked this same fish and lost him. And then not long after that, we hit another spot just up the river and I hooked a monster brown trout. And I got a really good look at it, and it was, I didn't really see the length, but you see the girth of the fish when it's like kind of battling in the current.
Oh yeah.
All I know is that it was like the belly of a smallmouth, but it was brown trout markings.
Oh my God.
Right, like that orangey, almost like my shirt, like brown, like that orangey browny color. Oh God, I don't know. It's haunting me. I'm thinking about it all the time.
So what?
Better that it gets away. I don't know. Maybe
that's such a good point. Like most of my stories involve, or the most memorable stories. I mean, we remember the fish we catch for sure.
Yeah.
But we definitely do remember what's with that. We really do remember the fish we don't catch more than the ones we do.
Yeah.
It's a deeper level, right? It hits something like in the subconscious that it never goes away. I can remember fish that I lost when I was like 16. Like
Totally.
Totally.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because you just don't know. You don't know, and then your imagination. Sorry, I'm gonna just cut you off. But your
no, you're gonna
imagination-
say what I'm gonna say.
Are you gonna? It just embellishes, what that fish could have been, and then you have a memory of what it was, and it was like, it was like Jaws. You're like, this is the biggest fish ever.
Was it a 30-inch brown? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And we
Not
never will.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, it's, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I would say like that's the one that like really hurt. I mean, I'm not gonna talk about Nipigon because we talked about it for like 3 hours last time. But there's some pretty darn good memories there. And then I did take a trip this year. I took a second trip. Like, thank you, Leanna, my wife. She let me go on 2 trips, even though we have a young baby. But I went out to Alberta, and seeing my buddy
looked amazing.
Cutthroat trout on that trip was also really cool.
Yeah.
We didn't catch them.
Cool.
We didn't get into them very good the first, like, I don't know, maybe 6 hours or so. And then as soon as the hatch came on, it just was lights out. And I don't know. I was
just
like,
cutties after cutties kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really good. And those 6 hours of not touching a fish when you're new to a place kind of felt like, oh, did I just drag this guy across the country to get skunked?
Yep.
Yeah, luckily it didn't go that way. So
that's wicked, man. Yeah, cutties are, I mean, such a beautiful fish. I mean, that is definitely on the bucket list for sure. They're just so cool looking,
Yeah, if you haven't done it, it's the fish are great, but it's also where they live, right? They run in the mountains and really cold streams, and usually you gotta carry bear spray because there's grizzly bears everywhere. It's so cool.
An adventure, 100%.
Yeah, our buddy Dane, who we fish with from time to time, keeps inviting us up to Manitoba for some cutthroat. Just take him up on it. Yeah.
Do it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Jeez.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, we got to do that,
Hell
baby.
yeah.
As soon as we can do that, we can do that.
We've got Chris saying, always one that gets away that sticks with you, part of what keeps you going back.
It's
It
true.
is.
Like it's so true.
I went back to that spot like 20 times though, and I never saw that fish again. So I
See,
don't know where he went.
That's what it
the
is.
thing.
That
you
is
go
it.
back, you go back to that spot, but it just doesn't. That happened to me. See, that happened to me this steelhead season. Okay, we were fishing with Tyler Dunsmore at our fly water, and I had caught a fish that day, and I was like all happy, and I was just casually steelheading, just swinging, like whatever. And I was in a part of the river I hadn't fished before, and my line got tangled, and this is the worst story ever because my line got tangled, and I was like, oh no, this is exactly when the fish is gonna hit, and I started to untangle it, and the fish boiled, like swirled on my fly, and I missed the hook set. And I was so mad at myself. I was like, and then Tyler turned around. He's like, was that a fish? I'm like, no, I just tangled my line. We're fine. There's nothing here. And then later I was like, yeah, that was a fish. And I think it was big fish. And I was like, so I've gone back there like 5 times this season and nothing, not even a bump. I'm just like, oh God.
But it's like, it's right here.
Right.
It makes
here.
sense for the rainbows though, right? Because like
Yeah.
they're moving and they're migrating, but those resident browns, they usually stay in the same spot. I don't understand how sometimes they're just not there.
Yeah.
Well, they're
weird.
there, but you think that they're not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Especially
know.
in some of these waters where there's not a whole lot of them, and you've kind of started to recognize their faces.
Yeah, you got to laugh at those mess ups though. I had a fish today, Mitch, that it swam between my legs when I went to net it, which is actually the second time that's happened. But
yeah.
keep your legs closed, guys. When you're netting your fish, it's a good tip. Yeah.
So you were netting your own fish and it swam between your legs, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's you can't don't be hard on yourself. That's it's a tricky thing to do.
You know what? It was high water and I was in a really awkward spot. I mean, it could have happened to anybody, but I highly recommend keeping your legs closed when you go to net your own fish. That's,
You're not a goalie, are you?
There's like 1 million people on the river too, and I definitely did not look cool while that was happening.
Yeah, but all those guys, did they catch a fish?
I don't think so.
So boom, there you go. You're like,
There you go.
It wasn't a good day. It wasn't like a good day, but it wasn't like a crazy.
Sure, yeah, it wasn't like a 15 fish kind of day.
No.
My back still kind of hurts from when we were out there a couple weeks ago. Just a little bit.
You know what? That made me take a bunch of pictures of that log that you fell on. So for everybody listening, it's a log that like you have to cross like when you're walking or like take a little detour 5 minutes around. And everybody I've ever seen walk over the log has made it fine, but Mitch did not.
Oh my God.
Mitch fell down into the wedge of the log, and it could have been serious, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was seriously.
It wasn't serious. It was funny.
Well,
It was a cartoon.
It's funny because he was okay.
And you were once you're a paramedic.
Previously, I no longer, but yes.
So you know what a serious fall could be. This was hardcore.
Yes.
Everybody listen. This was serious.
Yeah, I mean, if
And
you
I
were a
lived.
little older, I would have said hip fracture for sure.
I lived to tell the tale. It was like slipping on a banana peel. Like I straight up in my head, I went,
You went like,
and I actually heard, and I went up, and then I fell straight down, and the earth trembled around me. And then Yilma started laughing at me, and I was like, "This is ridiculous."
luckily, our lunches were in my bag.
Yeah.
The bombas. Save the
Well, I
bombas.
think that'll be forever Mitch's log.
That's cool. Until the water takes it away.
Mitch's log.
Yeah. Usually you name it spot because like someone catches a fish there, but instead it was a fall.
This time it's because this guy fell. Yeah, exactly. No fish were caught from him that day.
That's all right.
So 2021, what are you looking forward to in the new year? Like, what do you have any trips planned?
No trips actually. It's hard to plan. I got another baby coming in June, so thank you. Kind of hard to plan. Hard to plan because of COVID, and then hard to plan because life's gonna get pretty busy because that's number 2 for me. So we just moved to Elora area though, so to be honest, I'm just looking forward to exploring around here because there's
Hendrickson's.
I don't know if you've ever heard, but there's a trout river here. And there's also a lot of other rivers not too far away, so it puts me in a good spot to kind of explore Ontario because it's pretty central, right? It's like all the big rivers are an hour away or so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which beats
you've
that.
cut your commute to like the Saugeen and all those.
Yeah, like I used to live downtown, and so driving out to like those rivers like Saugeen and even going out towards like Maitland and stuff like that, are like they're pretty far. Yeah. It's like 2 hours we're talking about. Now it's cut in half.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's honestly like sounds like an amazing summer. Just sticking around.
Could be right. I mean, I hope so. I used to fish the Up Grand a lot. Definitely when I was learning, I fished it a lot. The last couple of years, I haven't been on it too much, but definitely looking forward to some evening dry fly because I can just go down kind of whenever.
Oh,
Baby
man.
goes to bed at 7 o'clock or so.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you're good to go.
Oh, you're gonna be texting us being like, massive Hendricks gonna hatch on. Like, you guys got to get down here, and we're like hours away. And we're like, well, like we're an hour away. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And you're
Hey,
just
I've always
slinging
wanted to
rounds.
be that guy, so
You're that
I'm
guy.
cool with
You
it.
are
I'm
that
cool
guy.
that that's how it works.
You can
out.
be that guy. And everybody needs that guy, you know?
You've become
True,
that guy,
true.
which is amazing. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna hit the best.
You guys like at
hatches.
work? That sounds good.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my god. Well, Nick, honestly, man, it was super fun fishing on the Big Head. It was great having you on the Nipigon show. Everybody listen if you haven't, because Matt, Martin, and Nick take us through their trip to the Nipigon, which was just mind-blowing, awesome trip. So check that out. But man, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, of course, guys. Thanks for holding something like this. I'm looking forward to hearing what everyone else has to say, and I really, really hope that it doesn't take us so long to get out again. 'Cause,
Oh,
agreed.
Oh, it won't, man.
Yeah.
Way back, and let's make it happen again, okay?
For
You're
sure.
the
That
one
was
with
so much
you're the one
fun.
with the kids. Let us know when you're free, because we have no lives and we'll just meet you.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any.
Mitch has a new cat, but I don't
I have a
think
new
it's the same
cat.
thing.
That's
Okay,
fine.
that's the same.
Nick, thanks, man.
I got nothing going
All
on.
right, guys.
Take
Thank
it
you
easy,
very
Take
much.
care, Nick. Happy New
Cheers.
Year,
Yeah,
man.
man.
See you guys.
Yeah.
That was Nick
love
from
Nick, man.
episode 78,
I
man.
love Nick. Nick's the best. I love Nick.
Brad, dude.
Super cool guy.
Yeah.
He was in front of me when I fell on the log and he didn't see it. And I was really happy about that because I looked like an idiot. I don't want to make Nick think I'm an idiot. You know what I mean?
Oh, I saw it. I was like front row center.
R.I.P.
I literally like my those like I don't know how many times my jaw has dropped in my life. Probably not many, but I was literally like.
Yeah.
But then you were okay. I couldn't stop laughing.
You couldn't
Sorry.
stop laughing.
Sorry.
We were serious in the beginning, definitely.
You were
because that was a
fine.
hard hit. Yeah. But
You
as
were
soon as you were
fine?
fine, I looked back and Aldo was just like,
I had to let everybody walk ahead of me because I didn't want to see you laughing at me. But then I could tell that Yilma knew I was losing.
Yeah.
Well, I can hear you guys. I turned around and I saw Matt genuinely concerned. Matt was like, "Are you okay?" And then I look past, my vision comes and the blur goes away, and I see past Matt's shoulder, and I see Aldo and Yilma just laughing behind him, like, "Whoa, whoa." I'm just like, "What the hell is going on?"
You got a
Um,
dart in your neck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I didn't have the bombas in my backpack. The bombas are donuts filled with custard that we had brought fishing to eat on the river. It's just a thing that we did, steelheading. If I had those in the backpack,
Oh,
bomba
Would've been
custard
awesome.
everywhere. Can you
Oh,
imagine?
yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
survive
the
that
key.
one.
I think that my new key, one of my big takeaways from this year is when you're steelheading, bring a bomb ass lunch.
yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Steelheading.
I feel like I can power through. Well, I feel like I can power through a trout fishing or day a little bit more than even if it's slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
For
need that
some
energy.
But
That's
with
great.
steelheading, I'm happy to stop, eat a sandwich, talk for 20 minutes.
You had your portable coffee.
Oh yeah, the jet boil.
the jet boil, which is
Mm.
great. That
That's
coffee
nice
was
to have.
good. That was good.
Nice to have.
I got a comment here in the YouTube section from none other than Kibo Shank. And if you don't know who Kibo Shank is, that's because it's my dad. And he's made a YouTube channel called Kibo, which is, par for the course. And he's asked a question about conservation. And it's actually kind of a nice question.
It's
I know
actually a good
like,
question.
It's very wordy. It's very long because he's just having some fun, as you do from an account called Kibo Shank. But he's asked that we've talked to a lot of people that have a strong kind of passion for conservation. Is there anybody this year that comes to mind or really made an impression on us about conservation and trying to be? And to be honest, I think that I'll just say that first of all, in the past we've had people on the show like Mark Matson from Swim Drink Fish. He was super conservation for it. Obviously,
Super. Yeah.
he owns an organization that's all about water education and protecting the water resources that we have. But this year, I think every guest we've had on the show has been conservation forward, because that's just kind of fly fishing. And I know conservation is such a loaded word, but I think that everybody's got an invested interest in keeping our waters protected and the fish there and healthy and happy. We did talk about a few interesting conservation stories this year, though. Even just thinking back to Monty Burke's episode, Lords of the Fly, and the author of that book. We talked about the huge problem happening in Homosassa with the tarpon and the development there. And that really sticks out for me because it's just such a huge resource that's just being,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say abused directly, but obviously being impacted from development. And I mean, like, it's a huge tarpon habitat that's just kind of suffering because so that comes to mind for sure.
Well, it's interesting because even though we do love and talk about saltwater fishing often enough for a bunch of 3 landlocked people in Ontario, it's just cool hearing about saltwater conservation.
Yeah,
because there's just so much to it. You read articles from the Bonefish and Tarpon Trust or see videos from them, and then really, like, if you need, I don't think there's a clear example of connected waters more than that, because you really see how fresh water, affects the saltwater fishing in the flats, and how they're so connected.
Totally.
I will. I'm going to throw a little, I don't know if it's a curveball, but actually when we were in Tobago, we met up with Yilma. You're not related to him, but he's like a family friend, kind of like an uncle figure.
Yeah, he's like
Solo?
a family. Yeah,
Solo?
Yeah.
So Solo is he's a beekeeper. He has
apiary.
He has an apiary with several hives. And we spent, we took a day off of the fishing and went inland into Tobago. Yilma was showing us some of the parks, I guess you could say, like the inland parks and the forest and the jungle, and we met up with Solo and his apiary, and he is very conservation minded. And he was understand. We were talking about the connection between the jungle, the land, the ocean, the waters, and everything, and that was really cool because it was very foreign to me. First of all, I'm in the apiary surrounded by tens and thousands of bees landing on me with the camera, sweating profusely because it's like 40 degrees. We're in the sun. It's like a high stress, unique. But then you calm down. You kind of calm down after you get used to the bees. And Solo is just packed with knowledge in terms of the flora and the fauna of the area. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's a biologist as well.
I'm not going to say exactly what his degree is in because I don't know, so I just don't want to say.
Right,
but
of course, yeah.
But,
of course.
Yeah.
But that stood out to me because it was interesting being in Tobago of all places and then meeting up with it and talking about, the connections that bees have with the land, and then talking about flora, and then talking about fauna, and then of course getting into talking about the ocean and the waters surrounding it.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Kibo said thanks guys, and he signed off with Kibo. I don't know why he's doing it. He was a maniac. I think it's time to have our next guest on the show.
Well, wait, Yilma, who were you? Who made an impression on you
this year?
If to be honest, I think Solo was, and you mentioned Solo, but I think he was. It
was quite the experience,
I
retained everything he said that day, and it was just, and I reiterated to all my friends, all my honey lovers, and it's incredible to hear him talk about how you're literally tasting Tobago from the honey, because these bees are going to the different flowers to pollinate and come back and make the honey, and I just felt like that was really interesting. I mean, I knew about I knew the science behind bees, but I didn't know how intricate it was, and how he talked about the drone bee, and then and he put my hand on top of the bees when he took out one of the from the hive. What are those? The individual slats?
I'm just gonna call them a slat.
Like a comb.
Yeah, a comb, and I put my hand on, and the bees are just like, they won't move because they're sensing your pheromones as non-threatening, and they're not going to do anything. You know what I mean? And it's
cool.
It's
That's
really
cool.
Incredible.
I know it's not fishing, but it was really interesting.
Well,
and then we did talk, because what happened in Tobago, which was interesting, this year or the year before, was there supposed to be a big sandals development on the reef there. So we talked to Solo about that. And that was maybe it's a complicated issue. So it's like, it would have provided a lot of jobs, but it also would have ruined the ecosystem.
Because that's exactly where they spawn. They lay their young,
like the bonefish, and the permit.
So was that sandals development canceled? They fought it off. That's good.
Yep.
Jesus, you guys learned a lot about honey. I think we could make a new podcast called So Bee. Or would Sobeys be pissed?
Yes.
Or they'd be our biggest sponsor, one or the other.
Or they'd be our biggest
Sobas.
sponsor. Sobas. There you go. Yeah, we could just talk about honey.
But it was
Um,
cool how much what bees
It is cool.
lend to the larger environment because they cross pollinate so many things. And then
Yeah.
of course the building of the jungle, the mangroves protect the
Well,
water.
that's it.
Water. It's like it's all connected.
Where you guys were, that's a pretty cool place to take in, like, a bee. Is it called an apiary?
Apiary.
Apiary, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Like Tobago near a lagoon, I think it was, right?
Mhm.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool. But
Yeah.
I
mean,
got stung twice.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think I'm the
You
most
caught your
like,
first tarpon, so hey,
yeah.
So hey, there you
good
go.
luck, bees.
Okay, I'm gonna add in our next guest, which is Nicholas Griffith, calling in from I think Houston. So I'm gonna add him in here, and we're gonna make sure that we get that whole mute thing going on here. Let's see here, Nicholas, how are you? Look at that. It's kind of funny because we just have people in the waiting room. We just add them randomly, and they're just like, oh, we're just kind of surprising them with our presence. Nicholas, how's it going?
What's up, guys? How's it
Hey,
going?
doing?
Nice to meet
Man.
you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys. This
Yeah,
is
thanks
cool.
for calling in. Super
It was
cool.
very
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, big fan
another-
of the show.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
no problem. Another Texan. We've got we I think we hit the nail on the head going to Texas because we met so many cool people from Texas after that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so I'm based out of
We're
Houston,
happy.
but in California right now with my
Oh, okay.
nice.
parents. So
Nice.
in
Nice.
Ventura, which is just north of LA.
Is there any fishing around there? No, yes.
Yeah, actually. So in the Los Padres National Forest, I just went 2 days ago.
Nice.
Catch little coastal rainbows if you hike in and find some
What?
water.
Oh, wow.
Dude,
that's pretty
that's
sick.
I mean,
awesome.
Don't catch anything more than 10 inches, but it's
Whatever.
it's
That's
fun
cool.
stuff. Yeah.
That's super fun. Okay, so you're usually based in Houston.
Yep.
Where do you go fish around there?
So I've yet to get into the redfish scene. I know I've heard you guys talk about it. I need to do that.
well, that's where we connected.
Man.
Our flight to Corpus was in Houston.
It
So
was, yeah.
we spent a very little time in Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I fished the Guadalupe.
Okay,
which
yeah,
is, I think the southernmost trout stream of the
Yep.
equator.
Yep.
So it's a tailwater. They stock it every year. So I'll be doing that in January. But fish that, and then like the bayous and canals around Houston.
Yep.
There's a good amount of carp fishing, and hook into a catfish every once in a while. But
Oh man, right on. That's cool.
catfish will save you on a day when you're being skunked. So
On the fly too, eh? Like, what are you catching catfish on? What fly?
I've caught them on like a Crelex minnow, which is like a,
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, like a clouser, like a flashy clouser.
Yep.
So,
It's so weird
mean-
when catfish hit. Like you get them in.
I
it's
know.
just like you're like, oh, this is a bass. This is in our case, sometimes a steelhead, and then it's a
Yeah.
catfish. You're like, what the?
like,
hell is
where
going on?
are you coming from?
yeah, Mitch is.
Yeah.
We were swinging for steelhead. Mitch's uncle caught a catfish this year
On a swing.
on
Yeah.
the swing.
When you were fishing for steelhead, is that
Yeah.
what you said?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
What? That's crazy.
Great leg steelhead, man. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
It's a walleye, maybe it's a drum, maybe it's a
garbike.
catfish. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
pretty funny.
Well, it's super cool to be chatting with you because you're, so far from us right now. But what was your 2020 season like? Like, how was fishing?
It was good. I had a break between jobs in like August timeframe. Had like 2.5 weeks to kill.
Yeah.
So went up to Wyoming, in
nice.
Casper. Fished
Nice.
North Platte for a couple days, and then spent a
Dude.
week in Jacksonville.
Big fan.
Yeah, North Platte was awesome.
North
Oh
Platte
my
is
God.
awesome.
And then I spent a week in Jackson Hole, just in the backcountry.
Dude,
that was amazing.
you're having a good year. 2020
oh,
was
yeah.
decent.
Yeah.
That's
So
ridiculous.
fish Flat Creek, which if you ever get a chance to do that, it's amazing. It's on the National Elk Preserve. It's all
man.
they restored it all. It's all native cutthroat. It's like one of those places where like you guys are like down on their knees, like hiding behind a bush.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I only caught one fish there, but that was like super technical. and
Super
fun.
technical. Man.
And
But you got to
then,
fish. You got to fish there though.
I got one fish, and
Hey,
I
man.
was like, all right, I'm going up to. And it's hilarious once you go up into the backcountry, you get higher up. The fish are so eager to eat
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm just gonna stay up here. the rest.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Hey, I can't
Yeah.
blame you there, man.
Yeah. and
Did-
then- yeah.
Did
go ahead.
you eat at the Sunset Grill in Alcova on the
I
North
did not.
Platte? Oh, damn it. That's like my favorite place on earth.
Sunset Grill. It's the kind of place where they're smoking cigarettes while they're cooking you scrambled eggs.
That's exactly what happened. The place is coated in $1
Love it.
bills.
Yeah.
It's up. It's I was they have these little rooms for rent there as well. That's where I crashed. North Platte, love it.
How was
Yeah,
your
that
fishing there? Like, how did that go?
North Platte was all right actually. I was just waiting, so like it's a much bigger river, so did all right there. But like in Jackson Hole, where could find some smaller streams, that's where it really took off.
That's where you
That's
went. Yeah,
awesome.
And then fish the last half of the 2 weeks in the Bitterroot Valley.
Oh, nice, man.
What?
Stuff in Missoula. So I spent like 2.5 weeks, camping out of a car and fishing. It was pretty cool.
I think you and Aldo have something in common.
That's
Jesus
so
Christ.
sick. That's so sick, man. I'm like, oh my God. Because we were supposed to do a trip to Montana and we can't leave Canada. So
Dang. Yeah.
But there's a lot of good fly fishing in the US. If you're obviously,
Just and in Montana.
Especially in
There's fly
Montana.
fishing in Montana. Yeah.
Yeah. Some
Yeah,
pretty
I heard
good
about that
stuff.
place.
Yeah, I've never done the Bitterroot. We had a guest on from the Bitterroot Valley this year, so that was cool. We definitely got down there.
Like, how did you like it? Like, what was the fishing like in the Bitterroot? Because we've only heard about it. Like, we haven't fished it before.
It was good. It's really wade friendly. I mean, we did. My parents came out for a couple days, and we did a float trip together. But
that's awesome.
wading, it's awesome for wading.
Yeah.
Which is always a plus. I hate going to a river and trying to wade, and it's just like not friendly for that. But
Totally.
Bitterroot was awesome. A lot of cutties, rainbows. Didn't catch any browns on it, but it was pretty sweet.
Man, that's pretty good 2020, man.
Yeah,
I'm jealous. I'm
It was
jealous.
pretty good. Yeah.
Jeez.
Trouty 2020. So how long are you in California then for?
I'm heading back New Year's Eve back to Houston,
Nice.
and then gonna fish. I'm gonna try and get a red fishing next year. We'll see how that goes.
Is that the
But,
2021 kind of goal? A redfish?
That is the goal. That is
Dude.
the goal.
We know
Well,
a guy.
You're in a bomb place for redfish. I'll tell you that right now.
I know. Yeah.
You gotta go hit Joe up, man, at Blue Lagoon. Like that guy.
Oh
is
yeah, I
fishy.
know. I remember hearing that podcast. Yeah, I
God,
need to hit them up.
He is fishy, and he's got a wicked skiff, and you'll get in some fish, man.
Looks like
Yeah.
he bought like 3 other boats this year too. It's crazy. But
He's just going wild. I see
yeah.
Joe's stories all the time, and he's constantly fishing. He's always on a skiff catching just redfish. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
I
still
gotta
yet
make
to
it
catch one. So I'll join
Oh,
you.
did you not go on that trip?
I didn't go. That was one of the few trips.
it was me and Mitchy and our friend Chloe from
Yeah, Montana.
Montana.
Nice.
Well, that's a good goal, man. Honestly, 2021, get a redfish. Like
Get a redfish.
that's
Yeah.
that's a great goal.
Yeah.
They're
So-
super fun. Super fun. Do you have any
Yeah,
other oh, what's that?
I don't know. I was just saying I'm gonna try and go for it on a 5-weight. We'll see how that goes, but I don't
That's
want to
wild.
completely get outfitted with a.
You're gonna get
New rod
launched. I'll
quite
tell you
yet,
right now,
but
you're gonna
we'll
get
see.
launched.
Yeah.
We'll launch you. They are torpedoes. I think I was fishing an 8-weight. And they
Okay.
launched me on the 8.
Yeah.
Like just like and I lost a fish on the last day. Maybe one of my best fish of the trip. I was using what tippet? I was using a thinner tippet.
Oh yeah, we went down to 8-pound because
Yeah.
they were being
kind
finicky
of
that
skittish.
day.
Yeah.
Right.
What else
And
did you guys catch down there?
Oh,
Drum?
man. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
drum and
Flounder.
flounder.
Aldo
nice.
caught a flounder.
Super weird.
Sea trout.
Sea
right?
trout.
Yeah.
And there was also what's that black and white striped fish called?
Oh god. Oh,
They have teeth like a
the
human.
funky little
They have teeth like a
Yeah.
human. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You caught a fish with teeth like a human.
Is it
No, they-
goatfish? No, it's not a goatfish.
No.
no, I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, those things are weird looking.
Joe's gonna listen to this and be like, "You idiots!"
I know. They're super cool looking. Like they're just like they're all kind of silver white with a black stripe down the side.
Yeah.
They're harder to catch. They're a little more finicky.
Sheephead.
Sheephead.
Sheephead, yeah. Goat, that was close.
Close.
Goat is
yeah.
close,
Yeah.
man. Goat head.
Yeah.
Goat head is good.
Yeah.
Will suffice.
But it is-
I threw a couple flies to some sheepies,
Mhm,
and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna take it. This is it." And he would look at it, like literally, like consciously make the choice to be like, "Nah, I'm not gonna swim away." Joe's like, "Oh, well, it was a good shot." I'm like, "Okay, well, dang."
Sure.
But but there's some cool fish. And Chloe on one of the first days there got flounder,
Yep.
redfish, and a sea trout all in one day. And that's Texas Grand Slam. That's what they were saying. And it was
Rockport Slam.
Yeah, Rockport Slam. And
Although
was,
if you our buddy Aaron, who's on the show as well, and actually wrote a book about fly fishing Austin, not Houston, but Austin. He talks about the Guadalupe River in his. Anyway, long story short,
I think I have that book.
He's a tugboat. He's a tugboat captain in Rockport
book.
And Corpus Christi, and he was catching tarpon.
He caught a tarpon. Yeah.
He got a tarpon.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Did you guys go after baby tarpon at all? Or?
We didn't know. We
didn't know it was an option. No, we were there for the redfish for sure. But
we saw dolphins. We should have been like, oh yeah, maybe there's tarpon here, but we didn't put two and two together. But he caught a tarpon, yeah, and it was a nice sized fish too. Like not a 100-pound tarpon, but like a beautiful tarpon for the area.
Yeah, well, he was waiting to start work.
I'm pretty sure it was like on a 6-weight or something ridiculous too.
So maybe there's a chance for that 5-weight.
Yeah, I think they have like a baby tarpon fishery down there. I don't know. I don't know where exactly it is in the Gulf, but
yeah, no, that's cool, man. I think 2021 redfish.
Yep.
Hell yeah! You got to send us. You got to send us some pictures, man.
Yeah, we'll do.
When you catch one.
And next time we're down there, we'll link up because we want to.
Yeah, please do. I'll be the bayou guide.
No, great, man.
No, actually, I mean, it's funny. There's like I hear people talking about it's hard to find carp and stuff where they're at, and then I'm just like taking a bike ride on the bayou, and I'm like, okay, carp. Great place for that. Yeah.
Are there like snakes and alligators and things like that?
Nah. I mean, we do get gators up in the bayou, but like.
Yeah, I'm not scared of that.
Yeah, it's like limited. It's only like when there's murky water, which you're not really fishing.
Dude, we saw a wild hog down in Rockport when we were fishing. It was the size of my car. Like it was huge.
Whoa.
And it stepped on a tree and knocked it over. And Joe was like, I don't want to get too close to that. I'm like, man, what? Me neither. Like, Jesus.
That's great. And it was in like the marsh and everything?
Yeah. It was just walking around the shoreline. And it was like the biggest pig I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, we got a hog problem in Texas.
That's what we keep hearing.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was funny. I jumped off the boat to like go in to film from a different angle, and Mitch was like, "Oh, don't go too far now," but he didn't tell me about like the hog that he saw. And I was like, "What's the problem?" I don't get.
Well, and I was like, "Oh, it's on the shore. It's away from the water." And Joe was like, "No, we gotta be quiet because that thing will come at us." And I'm like, "What?" And then we look 10 feet to the left, and there's a gator. And just swimming by. And Joe's like, make some casts. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no. Well, you got to do redfish. I think that's going to be, send us pictures when you get one.
Yeah,
super fun fish, man. Super fun fish.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet
you.
You
as well. Thanks for listening. Happy holidays. And man, enjoy the fishing.
You too. Stay
Absolutely.
safe.
Okay.
Right.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Yeah. Oh, he's a nice guy.
Yilma, you gotta catch a redfish.
I know. I need to get on that.
That's
Well,
so fun.
We'll go to Texas and I'll.
So many Texans.
Yeah, it's so fun.
David
Williams actually just said here that they had wild boars in Godrich a few years ago, and I do not want to be standing on the Maitland and be chased down by a boar.
Well, remember Randy was telling us about that.
Oh, yeah.
Like there was like some guy was raising them like illegally or something.
Yeah,
and they escaped.
That's right, and they got out. Yeah.
Yeah. When we were fishing, when we went to the Saugeen this year.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, everybody's got to go fish Texas.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. I can't say that enough. It really was one of my favorite trips.
So
I would love to check out the Guadalupe River. It sounds so cool. It's southernmost trout stream.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And check out Austin and check out Houston and hit up Joe, Blue Lagoon Lodge. Joe is like, if you want to go, if you're not from Texas and you want to go fish Texas for redfish, like just email Joe. Like it'll be the easiest thing and the most fun thing. Coolest guy ever. Crazy amount of fish. It's just, you got to do it. It's like it's such a trip you got to do. You know,
breakfast tacos.
Yeah, just don't eat any bad wraps. Because that's what I did. It was another level. I'm gonna add Joel in, and we're gonna talk to Joel so we don't keep him waiting all night. Because we have him in the waiting room. Our friend Joel, out in BC, and it's earlier for him. But I'm gonna add him in right now.
Yay, Joel.
So we could chat because we haven't talked to Joel in a while, and I miss him.
I talked to him in a very long time. Just looking at his pups and have another swig of this.
What are you drinking, Yilma? What is that?
40 Creek.
Oh yes, right on. Of
Copper
course.
pot.
Copper pot, baby. Joel, how's it going, man?
Oh, we got the
Oh,
headphones
He's got
going in.
The headphones.
He's got the
going.
headphones. Joel's from BC. How's it going, Joel?
We can't hear you, Joel. Oh no. Hey, this is just part of the live show technicalities. And my favorite thing about this actually is watching people try to figure out the tech. Ah! Joel. It's amazing that Joel moved out. We'll give you some background. Joel came with us on our trip to Texas and he fished redfish with us and recently moved out west to British Columbia. And he's been fishing all kinds of fish out there. He's been catching salmon and he's left. He's been catching salmon. He's been catching all kinds of fish. We'll see if Joel comes back. Bull trout. It's just, I mean, like totally jealous of his fishing season because
well, remember that one year when we first met him, Mitch? He came with us to Tulum.
Yeah.
So he's caught
Tulum,
what
Indiana,
people dream of,
Texas.
1 year. Yeah.
I mean, we fished everywhere. He went to Montana because he
met up with Chloe.
Met up with Chloe. Had a heck of a fishing season. Joel. No, unfortunately.
Can you hear me?
I know. We could see your mouth go. Can you hear me?
Your microphone? Do you want to try without headphones? Just your laptop's microphone?
He can hear us, which is amazing. No, unfortunately, we can't hear you.
Joel.
But we love you, Joel. We love you.
We love you, baby. We miss you. We love you.
We could try to just read lips, but the problem with that is everybody listening after the fact
is going to think we're insane.
Is going to think we're insane. Joel, if you can't figure it out, it's okay. We will not hold it against you, but we miss you. And we know you caught a ton of fish this year. We're super jealous. We got to come out. Goodbye, man. Goodbye, Joel. He tried, and it just, it's just one of those things.
I miss you.
Actually, I was talking to Joel.
Yeah.
The salmon season started.
Yeah.
And he said he got into, he was fishing, he wasn't catching fish, ill-timed, outings or whatever. And then he finally timed a coho run.
Oh,
and he said he hooked 15.
Oh,
Didn't land them all, but he just he hooked up, he ran into a pod of fish and he said
that's
it was
pretty cool.
Absolutely
really
insane.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, which is really.
He's had a good year. He's had a good season out. And
he started tying.
Yeah, there you go.
Guys, we didn't mention he's a phenomenal photographer. Probably.
Actually, our most listened to podcast this year.
Yeah. He's a fantastic photographer. We took him with us, like we said, Texas Tulum. Great photos. Check out our Instagram and check out his page as well. We'll put his Instagram in the show notes.
Yeah.
We had David Williams say, "Have you tried guddling for catfish?" David, I don't know what that means.
David, is guddling noodling? Because if so, then yes.
You've noodled for catfish?
Yeah, man. I've told you the story like 3 times.
Yeah, it's a couple of guys took him out. Yeah.
What is this noodling? Where'd you go noodling?
It was on that big road trip.
Oh, sick. Okay.
And
yeah, that's right. I remember the story now. You were on that road trip down the US. You met a couple guys at a bar that are like, "You want to go noodling?" And you
we got
obviously said yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that most of the, I would often frequent bars alone on that road trip, and people would just be like, "Hey, how's it going? Like, what are you doing here?" Or they'd notice my plates outside and be like, "Ontario, like, what the hell?"
Yep.
And these guys, actually, they're all Marines. They were like these massive human beings, and they were just like, "Well, we're going noodling tomorrow. You like fishing? You want to go noodling?" And I was like, "Sure." And we went noodling, and it was crazy because they're like, "Okay, well, just be careful when you put your hand in here." I don't know if anybody's seen the Maddie Matheson. It's a live thing with Brad Leone and Bon Appetit, but when they go and they're in Oklahoma, and the guys, Maddie just refuses to put his any appendage in the hole because the guy's like, "Might be a snapping turtle in there," and that's exactly what they're saying to me. And they're like, "Okay, if there's they did the same thing they did with Maddie, which was they found a fish for me without putting in the guesswork. And okay, we're gonna put your hand in here. It's gonna eat your arm.
Yeah.
And then whatever you do, don't put your natural reaction is going to be to try and pull your arm out,
To
but
freak
don't
out.
do that. Keep your hand on the bank, or else the catfish rolls and will sink you in the hole. Because these guys are like 300-pound like
Yeah.
men. I'm like
Yeah.
a small baby child.
Like you'll
I'm
get it.
five-
You
I'm like
you
a
are dinner.
140-pound
You're the bait.
small baby man, and they're like, and these guys are like, just don't let go of the bank. So the catfish clamps on him. I think it was like above my elbow. And first thing that I do is I let go of the bank, and I get sucked into the hole. And this guy, this huge barrel chested dude, picks me and the fish out of the hole, and he's like, "What'd I tell you?"
What? I didn't remember this part of the story.
Yeah, man, I got sucked right into the hole. I just feel this hand on my back, and this guy
Oh my
rips me out of the catfish hole. I'm telling you, this guy was like a huge line.
So wait,
linebacker
you
type
almost
dude.
got eaten by
No,
a
no,
catfish.
no, no. I almost like drowned.
By a catfish.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man.
Can I?
it was
Okay.
It was fun. You know what was the coolest part about that though was the way they cleaned the fish. Really super interesting. Is they took it back to their place, or like smashing beers and shit,
Yeah.
and they put it in a freshwater tank,
Okay.
and they call it mudding out. I don't know if there's a technical
Oh, to get the
there.
mud out of the.
but it's a tank they had that had moving fresh water in it, and then they left it in there for a bit, and then they cleaned the fish. But the
Okay.
water was clear and fresh, and they put this thing in there, and after a few hours, it was just like completely like muddy. I don't know if
Wow.
that's something they do
That's
everywhere,
wild. I
but I
didn't
know
know
like
you could
there's
do
different
that.
ways of processing catfish.
Yeah, Yilma,
Pretty
what's
interesting.
up?
Yeah, I got a
seem
question.
concerned.
Yeah, I'm concerned. Aldo, while you were there and talking to these noodling professionals, why are catfish interested in your hand? Like what?
I think. Well, I mean, it's like you're basically like, well, picture this. You're at home. You're all cozy. You're in your bed. You're watching Netflix, and then all of a sudden, a fist comes in your face. It's
man.
like that's basically what you're doing to this poor.
Okay, so
So it's like
it's
they don't-
territorial.
They don't have hands, right? I mean, they only have a mouth to defend themselves with. So they're like, get this thing out of here.
Right.
But wasn't it like, was it scary? Like getting your hand eaten by a
Yeah.
catfish, which are scary fish. And I don't care who, don't at me. Like I'm scared of catfish. If you're not,
It was like exactly what that guy said. It happens. Your mind is just like, I forgot everything they said in an instant and went to go rip my hand out of this catfish's. I noticed it was cool. It was funny watching the Matty Matheson thing after, because they do it with their feet, which makes a lot of sense, especially if you're by yourself. Because if they clamp on your foot, and then you can pull yourself out of the hole, with your hands. I don't know if you want to do this by yourself. You probably definitely don't, but I'm sure people do.
Well, you
So
can see
it makes sense.
Brad Leone in that episode is like really sketched out, and Matty Madison is too. He's kind of like
Matty Madison's freaking.
He's
out.
like, I don't want to do this. Like, and I totally get it.
I totally get it. It was. I will say, well, if I wasn't with those guys, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Like these guys are huge.
Hey man, good for you for saying like, yeah, because it's like if a couple guys at a bar that I've never been to in the middle of the U.S. asked me if I want to go noodling, I'd probably say yeah, but I might be a little like,
oh, there was levels of like,
yeah, it's kind of like
I was worried about it,
noodling with strangers. I don't know if that's a good idea.
But it went
But
okay.
hey.
It went okay.
Hey,
and then we ate some catfish. It was great.
and catfish, very tasty.
Whew.
I love catfish. They're very, very good tasting fish, especially if you mud them out. Yilma.
Yes, Mitch.
Joel's still trying to connect, and we're trying to figure this out because Joel's the bomb. Tim Wheaton said he loves the podcast. Thank you so much, Tim. We really appreciate that. David said it's scary. No doubt about that. And Yilma, I think we need to do another Factor Fishy because you've got another one, right?
Oh, Nick says Matt Martin and Nicholas, they're down for the 5-way challenge on the redfish.
Oh, you guys got to do it.
All
man.
right on.
You
Oh,
got to do it. It's a thing now. Now it's a thing. You made it a thing.
you made
You
it
have
a
to go
thing.
do it. And
We're all
then
going back. We're going back.
We're going back.
We're gonna land in Houston. We'll
Yep.
pick you up. We'll drive to we'll
Corpus
fly
Christi.
to Rockport, and we're going redfish.
And we're gonna go redfish fishing, and we're gonna catch them on a 5-weight on 15x tippet. That's the real challenge.
It's so thin, it doesn't even
It's
exist.
not even a thing. Yilma, Factor Fishy, yes. Let's go.
Okay. I'm calling this one That's Bull. Let's title this Factor Fishy.
So this is a fishy one.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that when I wrote this.
Okay, go.
Okay, so a man by the name of Charles went fishing for bone.
Sure, a man by the name of Charles.
A man by the name Yilma. I mean Charles.
Oh my God, what's happening?
All right.
Okay, we're back on. I start everyone the same, and it's hilarious, folks. Okay. By the name of Charles went fishing for bonefish on the flats of Tobago. An hour into it, although you might know this story, an hour into it, he sensed that something was behind him. Charles decided to turn around and see what was giving him those goosebumps that he was feeling. And 2 feet from his legs was the nose of a bull shark. His reaction was quick and smooth, and then proceeded to take the butt of his rod and hit the nose of the bull shark, sending it far, far away from him. Charles later that day said he will never come back to Tobago ever again to fish for bonefish because he was scared of that bull shark. A year later, he went vacationing. Vacationing to Belize with his family. He tossed a line in to take a break from his family on that day. Charles never returned. The only thing found was the butt of his fly rod, all chewed up, that was washed away on the beach.
Charles was hungry, and he decided to quench his hunger at a local
Jordan fact.
eatery. Fact. Steph says fishy. Ben says fish emoji. I think this is fact because you said Aldo knows the story.
Yeah, like you ruined it.
Completely gives away.
I did it. It's a trick question.
Okay, so it's fishy.
No, here's the thing: is like it's fact that story exists, but there's no way to prove it because this is a story.
I tried to do a what do you call it?
This is like break the fourth wall factor.
Yeah,
or something. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You've already you told me the story while we were in Tobago that there was a guy waiting in Tobago who bumped a bull shark with the butt of his rod, which good on him if that's the case. So the fact that this story exists is a fact, but is it fact or fishy? I don't know. I'm gonna go fishy.
I'm gonna say.
But did you guys hear the ending? It was kind of like Jaws: The Return when he came, the bull shark.
Yeah.
Came back to Belize and killed him.
Well, that's definitely fishy.
I mean, that's 100.
I tried to do a little twist here. Oh my God. I actually spent a lot of time on this one.
Okay, so this one's super fishy. Everybody knows it now. You spent a lot of time on it. Yeah, it's fishy. Just gives it away. And we got everybody saying fishy. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, that's the point of this segment.
Jordan's like, I changed to fishy.
Okay, Yilma, give us the next one. And please make this a stumper.
Okay. So you may think the first known mermaid story appeared in...
Merman. Sorry, I had to do. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's the title of this, actually. The title is Merman.
Okay, there you go.
So you may think the first known mermaid story appeared in Assyria at 1000 BC. The goddess Atirgret...
I don't, but okay.
I may think that. But I think you're about to change my mind.
That, but sure.
The goddess...
What the hell?
The goddess Atirgatis, mother of Assyrian queen Semiramis.
Atirgatis, yeah, we all know.
Loved a mortal, a shepherd, and unintentionally liked him. Ashamed, she jumped into the lake and took on the form of a fish.
Of course,
but the waters would not conceal her divine beauty.
It's kind of honestly, it's ridiculous. She thought they would.
Yeah. Anyways, but the real story, the real story was of the mermaid myth happened a year before that in ancient Egypt on the Nile River with Ramesses I, was the pharaoh at the time, and lo and behold, an avid angler. He was fishing off the left bank of the Nile and hooked into a tigerfish that pulled him into the water. While Ramesses was down there, he was held in a loving embrace by a human upper half and a fish lower half. He looked into the creature's eyes and saw that it was 17-year-old King Tutankhamun reincarnated into a merman to once again rule over his land. Fact or fishy?
You can't even say this friggin' thing with a straight face. I don't know what the hell you're talking about right now.
Just happened.
I got a bunch of whiskey, and I don't know what you're talking about. Ramses is turning into a merman.
I thought that was
Fishy story. This is completely fishy, and I don't think there's a way for us to know if it is fact because it's so old. Well, maybe that's
Yeah,
all right.
I don't want to say
Maybe-
fishy because, like, you know, this Egyptian lore is cool.
exactly. It's lore. Was the lore factor fishy? Let's go there.
I don't wanna
Is the lore factor fishy?
Well,
Oh, cookies.
is this the world's first fishtail?
Jordan
My mom
doesn't even
just
know
texted
how to
me. She's
react.
like, "What the hell is going on with you guys?"
All those moms know what's going on. She's watching. She's thinking, "This is
My mom's
ridiculous."
watching this right now. She's like, lol."
Nick Griffith says fact. Ben laughs. Kibo Shank says mermans are a fact. Ben agrees with Kibo. This is ridiculous, Yilma. I don't know. I don't even know what the story is. I'm gonna say fact
Fact.
because I love you.
And I love Egyptian
Lore.
myth.
I love it.
I love Egyptian lore. It's big passion. That's our next podcast. So
Guys.
Egyptian. Yeah.
I made it up.
So is Fishy.
That's fishy.
Nice. I don't know. I mean, I think that's kind of what everybody expected at this point. That's why there's just kind of a nice
Yeah.
embrace of that statement.
It's
It's
fun.
fishy. It's very good, Yilma. Honestly, that is it for Factor Fishy 2020. And I think that those are some really good Factor Fishies. And I want to say thanks for doing that, man. That was a cool story. That story was really cool. Okay, guys, there's one more segment left on the holiday show.
Are we at we're the callers are done.
Callers are done. We have tried to get Joel on, but it just fell apart. We'll talk to Joel in the new year. Joel's the man. We love Joel. And we'll talk to you. Everybody, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for watching the show. But we do have 5 more questions. Mitchie's New Year 5. If you're familiar with the show, we have Mitchie's Fishy's 5, which are the same 5 questions we ask every guest and every podcast. And they're, if you could fish anywhere you could fish, where would you go and why? What is your
Gab just signed on.
Yeah, welcome. Nice. Right on, Gab. Nice. Yo, BBs, right on. Gab. Love you. I love
Hi,
you, miss you.
Gab.
But Mitchie's Fishy's 5, we ask every guest. And this year, right now, on this show, we're going to do Mitchie's New Year 5 because we've answered Mitchie's Fishy's 5 in the past. So I've spent weeks and I want to say, months. I spent months writing these questions, prepping for these really the most intense set of questions we've ever asked on the show.
Really?
I can't even believe how intense these questions are. They're super serious. Wait a second. Joel just entered the chat.
Oh.
Will it work? Let's try. Let's see. Joel has entered, and we're going to see if the audio will work. If it works, this is going to be a holiday miracle. This is going to be a Christmas miracle. He's sideways.
He's
but it might-
sideways.
He's on his phone.
Connecting?
That's what the deal was.
Connecting.
I think he's
Oh my
gonna.
God, I
work
think he
this
can
time.
do this Fishy's 5 with us.
Yeah.
Joel
Did
did not
it
connect
did not
audio.
connect. Joel, no.
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
What is
It hates you, Joel.
I love how we've tried. We've very much tried a few times.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh! No way, man. I can't believe that
The
worked.
buzzer beater.
Gosh.
Dude, talk about buzzer beater. That's amazing. Welcome.
Wow. Thanks for holding the buzzer. Jeez.
Yeah, man. Well, it was great chatting with you. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night, guys. Happy
You're just in-
2020.
You're just in time
Oh
for
my
the Mitchie's
God.
Fishy's 5.
Well,
I
Joel,
need a beer.
I want to. Oh, what are you drinking, Joel? What do you got going on?
Got a little Squamish special.
Very
The
good
house-
beer. House Sound Lager.
House Sound Lager.
Amazing.
It's okay. It
Oh.
does the trick.
Yeah.
I like it. I like
How you doing out there,
I
man?
like
how,
it too. That's why I bought it.
how has the fishing been? How's your life been? How's everything going?
Life's been good, man. The fishing's been salmon was really great. That ended a couple weeks ago, and now we're kind of in the resident trout season, I guess you could call it. And then steelhead starts in maybe a month or so. So bull trout and some rainbows right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't really been fishing all that much. It's been raining a ton, so the rivers are up pretty high. But yeah, I mean, fingers crossed for steelhead season and looking forward to it. How are
man.
you guys doing? It's nice to
Pretty-
see you all. Hi, everybody.
Good to
Nice
see you
to see
too,
you
man.
too,
You
man.
know, we miss you. We miss you down here. We've
Yeah.
been fishing away. We've been steelheading a
I
lot.
know.
Yeah, steelheading
I've
a
been
lot.
following along. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
we probably steelheaded more this year than ever before, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it looks like it's
Actually
been
yielding
fruitful.
results.
Trying to get
Yeah,
out every
yeah.
weekend. You know?
Quite fruitful.
Who would have
It
thought that
has
going
been.
out more often means more success?
Yeah.
To catch more
Yeah.
fish. I know.
Weird.
Funny.
Huh.
All
Oh,
it
good
took.
for you guys.
And all it
You're-
took was going with 6 different guides.
Your buddy, your buddy, Joel, your buddy Adis is an amazing double-handed caster, by the way.
I hear he keeps texting me about like, yo, what reel should I buy next? I'm like, oh, dude, you're so hooked.
You're in. He's hooked.
You're deep now.
Dude, he's bombing
man.
casts on a double-handed rod, and he hooked a beautiful Grand River Steelhead this year.
Yeah.
No, he didn't even text me about that.
It was
How wants to
amazing.
brag?
It was an amazing fish, like an amazing
What?
fish. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like third or fourth time out Great Lake steelheading. He gets a beautiful.
On the swing. His
On the
first
swing.
steelhead was on the swing. The first year he was doing it. Basically the first time he was out.
Yeah.
Wow. Good
Yeah.
for him.
I know.
Good for you
Yeah, man.
guys.
Yeah.
Looks like it's been a fun season.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to anything in 2021?
Well, a couple different things. If the borders open up, I mean, like it's all up in the air. Obviously, I'm looking forward to exploring more around here. And last season was my first season out here, so I'm just looking forward to digging in a little more and like doing more steelheading and
Totally.
in through the winter. And I really want to. I think we talked when we talked on the show that I was on a while ago about stillwater fishing up here, and I didn't really get into it this year. But I'm really looking forward to trying more this year. I really want to get like a raft and kind of hike up to some lakes and catch some rainbows up high. Would be really fun.
That's so cool.
That and like just leaving Squamish because I've really been putting in a lot of time fishing here. But I mean, driving up north for steelhead season a little later after it ends here would be really fun. And I have a friend on the island now who I don't know if you know. Do you know Boyan a little bit? Maybe I know Aldo. You've talked to him, but-
We've chatted a couple times for
yeah,
other work,
I'd love to
but-
get out to the island to fish with him. He's been putting in a lot of time exploring and finding some water out there.
his photos are awesome too, actually.
Oh man, he's next level. He's insane. So,
Yeah.
it
Mitch,
would
he's
be
the guy.
really
Remember that firefighting photo I sent you?
Yep. Yeah. Super.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I followed him. Yeah. Amazing photos.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Beautiful.
Yeah, so that would be fun. Looking forward to that, and just exploring more. I'd like to go the Veta River.
Oh yeah.
Some big rainbows up there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're in some ridiculously beautiful place to do it, to explore.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Well, we gotta link up in 2021 and try to fish.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. I hope you guys can make it out here, or I'll make it home. I was gonna come home, but things got
Both
a
things.
little hairy again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I want to
seriously.
catch pike. I miss pike
I
so
know.
much. Oh my
I
god!
know. You gotta go pike fishing.
I listened to the Nipigon show, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
I know, right? Like
The photos Nick and Matt took of those pike, those fish were ridiculous, man. Like
Yeah, like it just sounds like such a cool part of Ontario as well. Like
totally.
another planet.
Totally. I mean, Nipigon brook trout, they have their own name, the brook trout up there, and then the pike are 40 inches. It's like, it's mental, it's super cool.
Come on. But don't. Thanks for taking my last minute call. Don't let
Of
me
course.
keep you guys wrap it up.
Of course.
Do you think?
no, we had to say hi because we
We
miss
had
you,
to say
baby.
hi. We miss you. And
Hey,
it
cool.
sounds, you're having a good time out there. And we'll link up.
And looks like there's a 5-way challenge brewing down in Rockport. So
Ooh, yeah. I was gonna say as soon as he said 5-weight, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
I was like, can I try your 7-weight? And Joe was like, oh no, about a 7-weight, dude. Like,
That's awesome. I love it. Oh man. Well, Joel, thank you so much, man, for making the audio work.
oh well. Thanks.
We
I
appreciate
took Aldo's suggestion and downloaded the app quickly on my phone.
Oh man, appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you so
Aldo,
much.
so proactive.
Peace, guys.
We'll talk again. We will talk again.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye,
Happy
man.
New Year, man.
Hi.
Good seeing you.
Happy New
You
Year.
too.
Happy New Year, man. What a great guy.
Joel. Wow,
Miss
I can't believe
Joel.
it worked out. Yeah, absolutely. 5-weight challenge. That's right up his alley, man. He was banging redfish in Texas. It's ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Here.
Mitch's Fishy's 5. New Year 5. The New
Mitch's
Year 5.
New Year 5. Okay, so like I said, I've spent a long time making these questions. They're the most intense questions you could possibly get. Here's the first one, and I want you guys to answer it. Maybe I'll answer a couple too. We'll see. Okay. So you can only wade for the rest of your life or fish from a boat. Which is it? So wade or boat. Keep in mind that this means if the fishing involves using a boat, you have to sit on shore and watch everybody. You can't fish. As they have the time of their lives, laughing and fishing and boating. But if you choose to only boat forever, you have to fish from a boat in places we frequent, like the Credit River. And there's like a boat, not like it could be a canoe, but obviously that'd be ridiculous, and everybody would hate you, and it would be maybe detrimental to the fishery. You wouldn't catch anything. So fish from a boat or fish from shore or wade for the rest of the
I mean, I'm gonna have to tie this back into Texas keeping. Oh, that's a really tough.
Well, because you can't
I have to
saltwater
say
fish.
boat. I have to say boat. It's gotta
Really?
be boat. Yeah, because man, like that amazing trip we took this year. Not our first time, but going into the Temagami backcountry, you need a canoe.
Yeah.
Texas redfish, you need to be on the flats boat.
Mhm.
Bass fishing, pike fishing, ripping around the boats in Elk Lake, all the things we love to do.
Mhm.
I'm not saying we don't love doing walking wades, which of course I do, and I love wading for saltwater
huge.
fish too.
Yeah.
But we can drift the Grand, you can drift the Saugeen. I might have to
And you say wade, and you're giving up a lot of really exceptional fishing opportunities by boat. You know what I mean?
all I'm saying is, did you see how many stingrays there were in Texas?
Totally. Everybody in the comment.
Tulum?
That was terrifying.
Everybody in the comment section saying wade, except for Jordan, who says he loves fly fishing with his kayak. Yilma, what would you do? Wade or boat? Rest of your life.
Rest of my life?
Would you rather?
The rest
Boat,
of your
wade.
life.
Rest of your life. You can't, you can't. And me and Yilma are in a boat, Well, Aldo, you chose boat, so we're all in a boat if Yilma picks boat. Otherwise, Yilma, you're watching me and Aldo from shore, and we're in the boat. Yay, we're catching fish. We're drinking iced teas.
Yeah.
I'm
Aldo's
polling,
bowling.
I'm polling Mitch as he's banging redfish left.
Yeah. Yep.
I've just decided I know how to pole a boat. Never done it before.
Yeah. It's true, Nick.
Yeah,
man,
that's a tough question.
50% of the work's done by the operator. He's right.
Yeah.
What would you do, Yilma?
I think I'm gonna go wade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wade!
I know. Only because Aldo. Okay,
It's
so
a tough question. There's no
it's a
right
tough
answer.
question, but there's an answer for it. There's a reason for my.
Oh, of course, baby. Lay it on me.
So I honestly, okay, so obviously I'm a little fearful at times to venture off. This is why I do this thing. This is why I hang with you guys, to push myself. We were in Tobago, and Aldo's like, let's go over here. And over here was
Let's go over here.
That's how I
What-
saltwater fish. Let's go over here.
Yeah, well, I'm getting to that point.
Yes.
So over here is a certain area of flat, beach, with a bit of about a foot of water that just comes across the surface,
I'm
right?
really shocked. Yeah.
And it basically, when you walk out on low tide, you're like in the middle of the ocean. So naturally, fear comes to mind. I'm like, why would I do that?
Mhm.
If the tide's going to come in, a bull shark's going to come in. But if I didn't take that opportunity to walk and go that far, I would never have experienced that. And let me tell you, that is the prettiest, most lovely, picturesque time I had in Tobago, just like walking out to a place that I wouldn't have done myself if Aldo didn't tell me to do it. And that's why I want to wade, because I feel like you can explore more walking around. You know what I mean? I feel
Honestly,
like,
yeah.
and I think that's my
You
answer.
like having the flexibility, and there's a lot of places you can wade, but you're
All set.
giving up, 200-pound tarpon, you're giving up certain experiences.
It's true.
But that's the question, man. Rest of your life, there's no easy answer.
I think where I really loved boats this year was really fell back in love with paddling. I went to Temagami a bunch, and that was
in the
really,
canoe.
Yeah, that
really
was fun.
great. And
Yeah, we had a great time.
we had a great time. But on the trip into Blueberry Lake, we really enjoyed it. So to give up boats,
Mhm.
whew,
Yeah.
think about
Well,
Yilma that morning when you and I were on the Water Masters on the Grand.
Yeah,
With the-
that was
with the
beautiful
mist?
too. I know.
But, hey man, there's no right or wrong answer here, except the comment section is blown up right now.
Dude, Randy just joined. Randy. He just joined and said Wade because it's easier to pee. Randy, I love
Right on, Randy.
I love that. That's hilarious. And he's right, he's right. Matt said boat, which I'm actually surprised because he spent so much time in the big head wading around.
Randy was
But
one of our guests up in Temagami,
Randy's a cool guy.
he's a really cool dude. He
guy.
took Mitch and I out for a day on the Saugeen, and
We have
More
a
to come on that in
podcast.
the new
Yeah,
year.
more to come on
Let's
that.
just put it that way.
Saugeen, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. That's great answers. We got
Okay,
number 2.
I'm gonna go. I'll say boat. Yilma says Wade. Mitch,
Yep.
what are you saying?
Oh, I didn't think I had to think of this. I'm gonna say Wade because
Really?
here's my trick. I'm gonna wrap a bunch of life jackets around my waist. I'm gonna bob around the middle of the ocean, casting for fish. I'm gonna get the boat to pull me. I'm not even gonna. Can I do that? It's my question. I can do whatever the hell I want.
You can do whatever you want.
Whatever. Do whatever you want.
I don't know. Honestly, I'd probably say Wade because I can't give up. I can't give up stepping and casting for Steelhead, man, in the fall. It's my favorite thing. It's so
Ooh,
fun.
that is true. That is a big part of
I
you.
can't give that up. And I'm not about to start casting from a canoe. You know, if I got to carry canoe to the ground every time, I can barely walk myself down to the river. I'm gonna start hauling a 14-foot boat. I don't think so.
I'm not saying that. I mean, hey man, you can do a lot of watermaster.
Watermaster, yeah, carrying anything, you know. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. Okay, number 2. Here we go.
Wait. Chris says, can you use the boat just to get to a spot to wade? I'm gonna say no.
No, you got to wade to the spot to wade.
Well,
and if
Chris-
you drown,
Chris with
You
the
drown.
questions.
it's a good Chris. It's a good.
It's a very
Chris
good question.
It's a good
It's
Chris.
a very good question.
Very good question, Chris.
You're
Okay,
messing up my mind, Chris. Sorry.
number 2. Here we go. So
Mhm.
you've woken up in 2021 and you realize not only are you underwater, but you're also breathing, and you have fins and you've got scales, and you are in fact a largemouth bass. You're swimming along a comfortable, very delicious, weedy shoreline in about 5 feet of water when all of a sudden you spot the most incredible meal in front of you. And it is the perfect meal in every single way, except the meal is actually a fly. Describe the fly you are seeing. What is that perfect fly, you as a largemouth bass? What is it? And it could be your own creation.
Wow, that's very beautiful, poetic, Mitch. I love that.
Very,
question.
very like. Are you
Wow.
a writer?
A little bit.
It's a piece of white felt on a hook.
Nice.
It's a tiger. It's a dragon tail on a hook.
Nice. Okay. Hey, good answer. Good answer. Yilma. And listen, a largemouth bass fly, yeah, you could tie a piece of yarn onto a hook and catch a largemouth.
I'm not saying a yarn. I'm saying one of the
You could put a sock, you could put anything on a hook, and you'll catch a largemouth bass eventually. But what do you, going out largemouth bass fishing, let's just think of Bass Pond, up in the Addingtons where we go. What is the largemouth bass fly that you want to fish to catch a fish?
Yeah.
That's the fly.
Hey, I'm with
It's
I
true.
love it.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's the fly.
I love it.
And it worked really well in Algoma too.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't go wrong with that. I'll tell you what mine is while Yilma thinks.
Is it a popper?
Oh, I already know mine, but go ahead.
Mine is very much not a popper. That's Gab. If Gab is watching. Gab, your fly is a popper. We know.
Gab is
Poppers.
watching. Gab also said he would go for boat, but
You are the popper man, and we love you for it. I would use a black marabou leech, just marabou tied all the way down. A size 6 or 12 streamer. Throw that out. That's what I would fish. Black, very indiscreet, but it looks like a leech. That's what I would do. It's not a woolly bugger. It's just marabou way down the shank. Yilma?
I'm thinking, what would I use? But also, if I was the best, what would what would be the most delicious?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with the dipsy diver that we don't like. That
Right.
although that Rob keeps giving me every year to use. It's like
Yep.
we don't know the exact name, but it's a bit of. I think it's like rabbit in the beginning, and then there's.
Yep.
I'm not sure what. I actually don't know what it is. Actually,
Well, it's got kind of a foam. It's got a foam coney kind of head.
It's
no,
a deer.
no,
It's a
it's
deer.
deer.
It's deer hair.
Oh, it's deer.
Spun
hair.
deer.
Spun
And
deer
then-
hair head. It's a diver.
Right.
It's a dipsy diver, and it just sits there, and it just kind of it's close to a popper, but it just below the surface, and then every time
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
and that's
Nice.
my
It is
Exactly.
actuly pretty miraculous how effective it is on specifically that pond
That-
at your
that
cottage, Mitch. Like it's pretty crazy.
I know.
Like
It is.
Yilma outfishes
Oh, he-
us 2 years in a row with that fly.
Beautiful man of fish. It's
Thank you, Rob. I love you.
Gab, you are the big papa man. That is very true.
He is
Okay,
the big
here's what's
papa.
going to happen right now because I drank a bunch of rum. I'm going to read this next question and run to the bathroom and then run back in time. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Number 3. Okay. This one's really hardcore. So you're stranded in the woods and you're wearing nothing but a pair of socks and a bucket hat that says on it, Dorado Daddy. You have no idea how you got there, and you have no idea how you're going to get home, but you notice you have a fly rod and a choice of flies, 2 boxes with different flies in them. Okay, so this is your choice. Only one problem. The box of flies holds one type of fly. So you have a fly box full of either squirmy worms of various shapes and sizes or woolly buggers of various shapes and sizes. Which fly box do you go with? Okay.
Where did I wake up? Where did I wake up?
In the woods. And you're naked. You'd have
But-
socks on and a hat that just says Dorado Daddy. In the woods. Doesn't know. It could be the jungle. Could be the Amazon.
Could be
could
anywhere.
be-
But it
let's-
says
let's
Dorado
call it-
Daddy.
If,
Let's
it was
call it-
Dorado, if it's Dorado Daddy, I'm thinking I'm in the jungle. So
Let's
I'm
call
going
it-
with the woolly bugger.
Let's call it Canada. You're in the Northern Ontario. You're in the Northern Ontario woods. You have the Dorado Daddy hat on because you've always wanted to fish Dorado, and one day it's going to happen. Okay, while you answer that question, I'm going to run to the washer. I'll be right back.
Okay, Aldo, you go.
I think everybody knows my affinity for squirmy worms, but I think I might still would have to go with the woolly bugger.
Yeah, I'm going woolly bugger all the way with this one.
I think so. I would like to think that if I was wearing a bucket hat that says Dorado Daddy, that I've woken up in the
Yeah, I thought that was the
Amazon
clue.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot more fun than being naked in the woods. And
Yeah.
actually, I don't know. I think I would rather be naked in the woods in the Amazon from a warmth perspective.
Right. Yeah, I'm going with woolly bugger for sure on that one.
Yeah, I think I'm going woolly bugger because obviously you can fish still water with squirmy worms, of course.
Yeah.
But if you're, in a lake, you can fish woolly buggers effectively.
Yeah.
It's not like he said it's not like he said you had indicators or whatever that you can fish a bung with or anything. So yeah, we're both going woolly bugger, Mitchie. Uh-oh, your audio.
Honestly, I know I was muted.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Honestly, great idea. I completely agree. I just wanted to ask because I know there's so much love for the squirmy. And hey, a worm on a hook. How can you go wrong?
I'm a squirmy, it saves, not all season long.
No.
Very good,
no.
very good in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, where we fish, it's great.
If
trout
Colin
fly.
listens to this, he's gonna be like, "Well, it's an all year round fly."
Squirmy
But
guy. He's a squirmy
but
guy.
I'm a squirmy early season guy.
Well, we did get some comments, guys, and Jordan said that he is the squirmy all the way, but Chris said woolly buggers. They're more versatile. Totally, I think I agree with you there. Could be a minnow, could be a leech, could be a dragonfly nymph. Nick says
Kibo says
woolies.
muddler minnow.
Kibo says muddler, which is hey, follow your own path, baby. Who
Tim
cares?
says clouser
Question
minnow,
is-
maybe.
Clouser minnows are great. I love a clouser, but he's woolly, yeah, 100%. Okay. That one maybe that one was too obvious. I don't know. I thought
No,
maybe
it's
this
not
was
obvious.
gonna
I
be-
mean, like, hey man, squirmy worm. If you said a squirmy worm with a box of indicators, I probably would have gone squirmy worm.
that's
But
true,
since you
that's
just
true.
said squirmies and woolly buggers, I gotta go woolly buggers
Woolly.
because it's more
You could swing them, you can drift. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do anything.
still water, moving
Okay.
water.
I like it. Number 4, Mitchie's New Year's 5. Okay, here we go. 2021 turns out to be even worse than 2020 in that the government is stopping you, either of you, and only you, from fishing more than 2 times next year. It turns out if you fish specifically just you more than 2 times, all the planets align in a cosmic disaster of epic proportions and to cause the world to explode.
Like me, Aldo.
Like you, Aldo, or you, Yilma. So you have 2 fishing outings in 2021. 2. You can only go twice next year.
Or else I blow up the world.
Or else you blow up the world. Where are you going? Or if you choose to blow up the world, fine, I guess. Where are you going 2 times next year? Where are you going? And what are you fishing for? And you could go wherever it makes sense. Like we're not going to say, something. Well, let's open it up. You can go anywhere.
We're gonna go anywhere.
Well, yeah, you've got no within your limitations. So like normally, like you could fly to New Zealand, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. Where would you go next year? 2 times.
Is
Where
it
would
a
you go?
day of fishing or is it like
No, like a trip.
Like a
You get
trip?
one. Yeah, like you could fish for a week, but you only get that week and then one other outing.
I've got mine. Go for it, Aldo.
No, you go. I have to think.
You sure? Okay,
You have
Fun.
those already. Wow.
I know.
2 times you can go, and you already figured it out.
I already figured it out.
Okay.
Esnagami.
Okay. Good answer, man.
Great answer.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
okay.
and the second trip, well, it's between Atawapiskat and Tobago. Are my
Well, which is it? Which is it, Yilma? It's two.
It's a tough one. I'm gonna do Tobago only because it's a saltwater
That's
excursion.
a really good answer, actually. When you
Yeah.
said Esnagami, I was like, oh, great answer, because you'll get your fill of kind of, northern
Everything.
fish, and then you can
Yeah.
go south and fish tropics.
Exactly.
But is that what you want? Because guess what you're missing? And I know you don't love the cold. I was gonna say steelhead. You're missing steelhead. You're missing trout, on the credit.
Yeah.
You're missing largemouth bass up on Bass Pond. You're missing
Yeah,
smallmouth.
Yeah, I know.
You're missing a lot.
Well, I guess I'm gonna blow up the world.
Honestly, yeah. Okay, good answer, man. Good answer. And although while you think we've got some good answers coming in here, we've got Jordan who says he'll just blow it up. We've got David. David says Alaska for silvers. Matt says Nipigon and Alaska steelhead, which I think is an awesome answer because you're catching pike, warm water fish, brookies, and then you can go catch steelhead. And we've got Jordan saying New Zealand, South America, which is also amazing.
Yeah.
Although, what are you doing? Because 2021, it's going to be a tough. It's going to be in this.
I'm doing
instance,
I'm doing Texas redfish.
Oh yeah, that's a great answer.
I'm doing Texas redfish, and I'm just gonna say a day of like peak hatch dry fly trout fishing. I don't care where. Doesn't
Great
matter.
answer, man.
I
I love
like-
that.
Like one of those warm evenings that like the sun seems to set at like midnight.
Yeah.
And it's
Mhm.
just like the whole day is just like rising fish.
Yeah.
Obviously maybe rising more in the morning and the evening, but you're catching them on dries all day. I don't care where. Maybe, I don't know, the West Branch of the Osable River, perhaps. Or I don't know, maybe it's Spring Creek in Pennsylvania,
Oh,
or the
yeah.
Grand River here, or the Saugeen, which I actually really like. But it's a day of dry fly trout fishing, and then the exact same weekend minus food poisoning, Texas. Um,
Yeah. No, I think that's
those
a
are my
great
two.
answer.
Those are my final answer. As much as I like
Sure.
everything,
And he does, folks.
things that make me the most happy.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with redfish. Is it going to be a trip you remember all year? Where you're like, that was wild. And then trout, hatch trout. I mean, that's just, we need that. You know what I mean?
Like
Um,
smashing some barbecue with the hungry trout,
oh,
and then fishing the Osable River.
fish in Wilmington, Osable on their white face. It's just an amazing experience.
Thank you.
Great experience.
Or where David Adams and I went to meet Tim Camisa
Yeah. Up in Pennsylvania.
up in Pennsylvania.
Beautiful.
I would also say that is a very similar feeling type place.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've never
says-
been to-
Randy.
But I've never been to Alberta. I would love to fish the Old Man, or catch a cutthroat hatch.
There's so many places.
There's so many places, but like just a dry fly, or if we were in Montana with Chloe or Matt out on the Ennis on a dry fly day, like a hopper day.
Well, you know what I'll say is, Randy first of all said Nipigon for record brookies and a local pond for sunfish with the grandkids, which I think is a bomb answer. I think that's a great answer because you get a nice family day and then you get a ridiculous like brook trout adventure fishing day. And I think that's great. I think that's awesome. And that's kind of where I was going to go with my answer. I was going to say, here's what I was going to say. And I know I wrote the question, so I'm kind of making up rules here. But I was like, if it's anywhere in the world, I would say the Seychelles. I'd go fish that next year. And then I would do a day steelheading on the Grand with Joe, my uncle, and you guys, and Idis. That's what I would do. 100%. That's a great day.
Oh wow.
And if I didn't do the Seychelles, if it was, within your means and it's a normal kind of fishing trip, I would do either Steph's cottage for smallmouth or up at Bass Pond, Buckshot Lake, and then a day steelheading. There's no way in hell if someone's giving me 2 days to go out fishing, I'm not steelheading one of those 2 days. There's no way.
You are the steelhead.
It's the best.
Gab's the popper poppy.
Gab's the popper poppy.
and
You're the squirmy,
steelhead.
and you're the
I-
squirmy wormy.
Squirmy daddy.
Do I really want to be known as that? Sure. Okay, cool.
You just,
okay.
I don't know.
I don't really have
You
one,
know.
so I'll get there. Next year I'll have something.
Joel, help me get my
Dad.
first brown. I'll come to you, Joel. Joel hasn't caught a brown.
I guess not.
Oh my God, Joel, that's got to happen. This is ridiculous. You're catching a brown next year. A brown trout is.
He's got everything else, every other species.
Oh, he's had amazing for it.
Nick
Okay,
says late summer cutthroat and spring pike with Matt Martin. Oh, that's so
Joel, you got to go fishing with Nick. Nick is the brown trout whisperer. You'll catch fish. Oh my God, 100%.
Ryan says Labrador.
For Atlantics, yeah, Ryan.
salmon fishing.
Well, we're doing that. We're doing that.
I think I'm still,
2021.
despite that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What were you gonna say, Aldo?
Now we are.
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, nothing. I'm gonna stick with my answer. But Atlantic salmon makes me second guess one of
Good
my
choices. You're gonna blow up the world. It's totally fine.
Okay, number 5. Here we go. Mitchie's New Year's 5. Here's the 5th one. Okay. 2020 was a heck of a year filled with downs, and a couple more downs. But we did manage to get out and fish locally and in our home province of Ontario, Canada. And I'm looking at you, Aldo and Yilma. As you sit in your chair on this live YouTube podcast with millions and millions of people watching, Mitch reads a stupid question to you. And as he drones on and on and on and on, you begin to drift off. His soft, wonderful voice becomes a hum as your eyes glaze over and you're transported into a daze of reflection to the most wonderful fishing moment of your 2020 season. Describe the moment, this favorite fishing moment from your 2020 season. What was the moment? The world waits with bated breath.
Mitch, it was the day you and I brook trout fished at Esnagami.
Oh, Jesus Christ, eh?
I'm sorry
That
we
was
couldn't
ridiculous.
all, for very good reasons, we couldn't all do the trip on the same day.
Yeah.
Um,
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous day.
you woke up early. You met, you shoveled food down your face. Eric Lund owns Esnagami Lodge. He's ready to go. Mitch and I would got to tell you, like we had 2 days to, not only do this type of fishing, but also get the content we needed for, for our hosts
To share with people, yeah.
and for us as well,
Yeah.
So it was like pressure was kind of felt that the pressure was on.
Yeah.
And then, Mitch and I get into the boat and Eric's got the twin engine on the cedar strip. And
Two motors on the back of that,
we're barreling across Esnagami Lake.
which is a big lake. It's a treach lake. It's treacherous.
Huge.
And, but although before that, like you're just talking about the pressure to catch fish, it's because days and days before that, there's a certain number of campers at the lodge at one time because you fly in. It's a remote lodge, Esnagami. And people are there like, we caught 15, we caught 12, we caught 20. And Aldo and I are like, are we going to be the assholes to go and catch 0 fish? Is that going to be us?
Yes.
So you feel pressure.
That's exactly what you guys told us.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, we don't want to be the guys that go.
Yeah, we're gonna be like those guys. Oh, well,
Lost
everyone
them
else
all.
caught like 30. What was
Yeah.
wrong with you?
Yeah,
So we're like barreling down the lake. The clouds part.
yeah.
The clouds part. The sun shines, and then all of a sudden, we hit the river system. Hundreds of dragonflies emerge from the water.
Yeah.
Mitch takes one cast and smashes the biggest brook trout I've ever seen in my life on a
Yeah.
dry fly.
Yeah.
On a Chernobyl ant.
Yeah.
And he looks
crazy.
at me and he was like, well, that's crazy.
We
And
were
that's
just
kind of
like-
just how the day went. Like, it's just a beautiful place. And mind you, for every brook trout we caught, we caught 5 of the nicest walleye.
Beautiful 24-inch walleye. And you're just like,
Um,
okay. And they call them golden plague because it's just like you catch
like-
them, you're like, dang, it's not a brookie.
But they're like the most beautiful walleye you've ever seen. And it was just like one of those.
Yeah.
Was one of those days.
Perfect
I don't know how
weather.
to put it. Like, it was just one of those days.
Mhm.
So that was my. There were a lot of really great moments this year, and like you said, we explored a lot in our backyard. We got to fish with so many different people we've wanted to fish with here. Had our best steelhead season ever. I know I had my best steelhead season ever, and saw
did
more
too.
rivers than ever. With you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was definitely the moment for sure. It was like that day was just like
And everybody listening,
sensory
like,
overload.
the water is tannic. It's a tannic water. It just looks like, those rivers. You're like, oh, that's a brook trout river in Ontario. And it actually was, when you pass those rivers when you're driving to a cottage, in Eastern or Southern Ontario, and you're like, that looks like a brookie river, but there's just like, river chub in it now. I mean, there's like 4-pound brook trout in this river, and it flows into James Bay eventually. It's part of like the Albany River system. And it's just ridiculous. Like it's just something you
ridiculous,
gotta
yeah.
do. So that's a great answer, although yeah. Yilma, what is if you look back on a moment,
Oh, yeah.
what was it?
Listen, I agree with Aldo. Esnagami, brookies with Adis and I is one of the biggest brookies I ever caught. It was a good time. Even that 15-incher we caught with Eric Fenkel up at Temagami Outfitting.
Mhm.
That was like that actually.
I
Those
don't
guys
recall
are,
Eric being there.
yeah,
I
those
was
guys
up at
are
Temagami though.
Temagami. Those guys are neck and neck.
Eric
That
was back. He was eating grilled cheese and just
Yeah.
relaxing. As
You and I were
guys
scaling. We scaled down that rock face, man,
Oh yeah, Aldo and I crushed
With Randy.
crushed that trip. Yeah, with
with
Randy.
Randy.
Yeah, it was great. But I think those two trips are neck and neck. But I think the one that takes the cake is that Algoma. I
Whoa.
probably I came up there tired from work
That's cool, man.
and I awoken by the beautiful colors that was happening during the autumn season there. The huge smallmouth. I mean, crystal clear water. And that, I know the muskie was only 32 inches or something like that, but that was my first muskie on the fly on 0x tippet. Like,
Yeah.
I can't, like, I
Dude,
worked my ass off that day to get that muskie.
There you
Okay.
go.
That's so
I didn't
good.
stop casting. So,
And that was the hardest I've ever seen you fish,
yeah.
except for maybe Tobago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were like, oh, okay, well, let's just put some bass gear on, and then
Yeah.
obviously, boom,
Yeah,
muskie baby.
nailed him.
So that's Algoma.
Hey.
Oh my God. That area is fucking real. Sorry for swearing, guys, but that is just blew my.
Algoma looks
blew-
beautiful.
Oh
It's
my
beautiful.
God.
We
You know
got
what?
to go back there for sure.
Congratulations on catching that, Yilma. 100%.
Thanks,
I'm
dude.
just gonna.
Mitch, before we get into your answer, I'm going to read some. Jordan says his favorite moment as he was trolling for Lakers at his sister's cottage on the Blind River at 5 a.m. with the mist.
Yep.
We can definitely relate to misty mornings fishing.
Yep.
It's a special time to be on the river. Ethereal, very calm.
Yep.
Matt says hand landing Nick's first pike over 40 inches on his third attempt.
Love it. That's
Gab
great.
says getting Chantel, his wife, to start fly fishing and
Aw.
catching her first trout on.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's great, dude. And you're in Quebec, and you're in beautiful area of Quebec now. How can you go wrong with that? That's wicked, man. Congratulations.
Jordan says Algoma is the best. I love the lakes up there. Totally worth the drive. Couldn't agree more. And Randy, our buddy Randy says nip. Oh no,
Oh, he didn't say Nipigon.
no, he did. That was for a different answer.
Honestly, those are all amazing
They're all-
answers.
Yeah, they're all.
Absolutely. I'm gonna try this scotch here that Steph's mom got me for Christmas.
Oh,
I'm gonna try it out.
Brulatic.
Yeah, I'm
So
gonna try
good.
it out. Yeah, here we go.
So good.
As I give my answer, you know what? I think that those answers are both amazing. I think that I'd have to say Esnagami as well. Not the brook trout, yes, obviously, but because you said brook trout, I'm going to say something else. Esnagami fishing at Betty Falls. Okay, so we took the boats in, and it was Idis, me, you, and Yilma, and we took the boats in to Betty Falls ourselves, and we fished there the whole day. And we just catch walleye and pike and just hang out. I smoked a stogie. We're eating sandwiches on the island. It's a beautiful sunny day. It was my birthday.
It's your birthday, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just a great day. It was like, this is just a wild day. We're just chilling.
It was
taking
almost like an
photos of
off
beautiful
day
fish.
because we had
Yeah.
like
We had just caught so many fish and done so much stuff.
we had ticked so
we were
many
just like,
boxes.
yeah, let's go and shoot and fish. And we did, and it was beautiful. And it was awesome, man. It was just a Estagami Lodge. I gotta recommend it to anyone listening. Like, if you just want a wild fishing experience, like in the north of Canada, go hit up Estagami.
Very comfy
Fly
experience.
comfy, you fly in, they feed you, and the fishing's insane. And
Insane.
actually, I would say the first day we were there, and we hit the lake right away with Eric, and we caught 15 walleye in like 10 minutes. And it was like, okay, well, we caught we have 4 fish here, we can go eat. Let's go eat, have a shore lunch. And we're like, okay, we're catching like 100 walleye in a day. So we go and we cook up a few walleye on shore. And it was just, post pandemic, or not post pandemic, but during pandemic when we were all able to kind of take a break and we hadn't seen each other in a while and we had lunch. Esnagami was just a great trip. And I got to recommend it to everybody. That was, I think, my favorite moment.
It was
Betty
it
Falls.
was such a relief.
Yeah.
From we'd just gone through we went June, so it was just like months of like intensity,
Yeah.
And
Totally.
yeah, I don't know, man. It was a really like
It was beautiful.
fun
It was a
little
great trip.
human we were like all of a sudden you're eating lunch and with no masks on and fresh air, chatting, laughing.
Middle of nowhere, there's no one around. Yeah, it was wild. But I would say right now to end the show, and everybody at home, thanks for listening. And if you're watching live, thank you. This is a long one, but we're not going to edit it. We're just going to put it up live. We're going to put it up as it was, pauses and all. And so if you're listening to this on New Year's, Happy New Year. But I'm going to end this with just let's end with what is our fishy resolution in 2021? What is something you want to try to do next year, or get better at in 2021? How are you going to become a better angler? And it's a big question, so you can take a second to answer. And
I'm going to clean the river more.
That was my answer.
I always see guys leaving with nets full of trash.
Yeah.
I got to be that guy more often. We pick up a lot of fishing line specifically when we're out for sure.
Yeah.
But I think, picking up trash as we go throughout the day, maybe bring a backpack, even if it's empty, and just go throughout the day doing that. I think that's how I'll be a better angler, I think.
I love it. Yilma?
I'm going to read a little bit more and educate myself a little bit more. And I think I'm tired of asking you and Aldo for tips and calling Chris and Rob from Drift like, hey man.
That's what they're for, man. That's what we're all buddies.
I know, but it's time that I gain knowledge from different avenues, and I definitely need to do that because just want to do it. So that's what's happening.
Nice.
Yeah. That's my resolution.
We've got resolutions pouring in. I'll say my resolution is the same as it was, I think, a couple of years ago, which is like catch just the biggest brown trout of my life. I want to do that. I want to do that this year. I want to figure out how to catch the biggest brown trout of my life and then do it, put in the trout time. I didn't put in a lot of trout time last year, because
you sequestered yourself up at the cottage.
I was in Eastern Ontario. Like I ran. Steph and I left, and we were in smallmouth country, walleye country. So I didn't really get the chance to trout fish by choice. But I think next year I got to go and just catch, 25, 26 inch brown. Like that would be buck. If I could do that.
For sure.
Great.
18, I want to be there.
20 inch would be amazing. 30, 40 inch. If I could land a 50 inch brown trout this next year,
oh my God,
that's a mission accomplished, I would say.
50 inch, I might have to go to the Rio Grande for that, but I'm with you. Let's be there.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Matt said that he wants to educate more people and show them what he loves, why he lives it, and how to take care of it.
And you know what? Matt just started guiding in a more, or getting back into guiding. He was a guide.
Yeah.
Great answer.
So,
yeah, 100%. That's the way to do it. Gab said he's going to find a job where he can fish before he starts work, at lunch and after work. And Gab, I believe you.
I definitely believe you.
Tim wants to, work on picking up trash as well, and Randy wants to take out a dam. And Randy, I hear you. I'm with you, and we're gonna talk more about that in the new year. And Nick agrees about the brown trout. Nick, me and you gotta go out because you're brown trout man, so we gotta.
It's
go.
very fishy.
Ryan says take my 13-year-old daughter out on a decent trip this year. Still had her big rainbows. I think that's a great 100%. 2021, like that's the year to do it. Close to home, you can catch beautiful fish. Jordan, he thinks is education for myself and all my nephews and my family. They all know me as the fishing guy, and I feel that my responsibility to teach them proper conservation.
Love it.
Chris says up my dry fly game, catch a 20-inch brown on a dry. Chris, I'm with you, man. That's my thing.
Looks like there's a lot of.
It's a lot of
brown trout.
Let's catch
a lot of brown trout talk on the table. I love it.
I'm all about it.
They're tough.
Everybody,
especially on the credit.
2021 is going to be our year to fish again. Make the most of fishing. Fishing is a thing we can do safely. So let's do it. And here we go, guys. That's a live YouTube live podcast in the bag.
Yay!
Thank you so much, everybody, for listening, for watching, for commenting, hanging out. Thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate the listeners in 2020, and we hope people stick around and we'll have fun doing this, and eventually we'll be able to get together again, do some tie-in nights, and we got some nice shows coming in 2021. So everybody stick around, check them out.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah!
Well, that is it for me, Mitch. Aldo.
That's it for me. I just wanted to say thanks to everybody. Thanks to everybody that supported us too. It was a tough year financially for a lot of people, but Drift still gave us, helped us out. Esnagami Lodge, Northeastern Ontario Tourism, Tamagami Outfitting, Elk Lake Wilderness Resort, 40 Creek, Munhead, they still supported us even though it was a tough year, and obviously we appreciate that so much because it gets us into some places, and Algoma tourism, you know.
Yeah, Algoma, absolutely. Northeastern tourism. Yeah. Everybody, thank you so much for the love, the support to Mogami Outfitting Elk Lake. You've said it. Everybody, thanks for listening, and I hope your 2021's amazing, and happy freaking New Year.
Happy freaking New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Everybody, take care of that.